Hello and welcome to a DFS preview and strategy video for the I didn't even update the the little thing over there to the left. This is the Wyndham Championship though. DFS preview and strategy video for the Wyndham. I'm going to do this whole update thing while I'm going through it. Now in these preview videos, what I like to cover are the course information, the tournament information. I like to go over past optimal and GPP winning lineups. I also like to cover a review of the previous tournament. So we'll be looking at the 3M Open, which I got to see 2 days. I got to see Saturday and Sunday. So I'll talk a little bit about that. We'll go over the SweetSpot process to let you know how well it did, because I want you guys to have a little bit of confidence when it comes to looking at the SweetSpot process for this week. That includes the bucket system, that includes the Marquee Tee Times, all that good stuff I'll be covering in this video. And this is a live chat, so if you guys are wondering who I'm talking to here and there, and I'll acknowledge people here and there that do come here and leave chat messages in the chat, it's because this is a live video. But I am going to quickly update the tournament title, or the video title down there on the bottom left. I will welcome in Gabe. Gabe left a couple lineups or lineup considerations, so I will do that once we get to lineup building. Of course, that's what I'll be doing here with the live video, since that is what we do on live or on strategy videos, is building lineups. I am just trying to riff while doing this. Don't mind me. We're almost done. And I think that's good enough. Good enough. So now it should be updated in right about now. We'll see. Yep. Doesn't look as good as it normally does, but that's just how it goes. All right. Let's go further into this. Hey Joanne, how's it going? Nice to see you once again. Appreciate your continued support. Now, if you're here in the live chat and you do leave a message, that'll get your name into the entry for some giveaways I like to do. Let me go ahead and throw that on the screen. So the first giveaway that I like to cover is what I call the subscriber giveaway. So this is a weekly and a monthly giveaway. Weekly I run every Monday night. So we'll be doing it right after I give you this pitch. Every Monday during the preview strategy video, or really just during the preview video. Of course, this is a Tuesday now I think of it. Sorry for this being late, by the way. I was running way behind. Again, I'll talk more about that during the review. But we run giveaways Monday night. We'll run one here. All you need to do to get into this giveaway is to participate on the channel. So be subscribed to the channel. Leave a comment, just like Joanne did, just like JK did, just like Gabe did, here in the live chat. Also, any of the videos, because I'll cut these up once I finish the stream. I'll go back in and I'll cut up all the different segments. I'll throw those on YouTube too, or as well. That way, if you don't like long form, there'll be shorter versions that you can watch here and there. Of course, if you go comment on each of those, you get free entries that way as well. So those are how you get free entries into this giveaway. Now, I normally would do a monthly giveaway the first day or the first Monday of the next month. So technically this would be the first day of the next month I would do a monthly giveaway, but we determined that we're going to give it another week. So basically giving everyone an opportunity to get their names into the entry. I will give $50 away if we can get 26 new subscribers. You see that all the way over there to the left? That's the goal. I do the $50 if we hit the goal. If we don't, I give a t-shirt away that has this logo on it, the SweetSpotDFS logo. So those are things available to you just by participating on the channel. So if you are interested, again, be subscribed, comment in any of the videos, including this live video, and you'll get entries into it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and run our weekly giveaway. Remember, monthly giveaway will be next Monday. So we had 30 entries, and I have all of my entries right here with the videos that the people commented on. Once I hit yes, we'll get our first winner, or I should say we'll get our weekly giveaway winner, and it's Joanne. Joanne is here in the chat. Congratulations, Joanne. This is now number 3. So you have $15, I believe, saved up. That's also another thing you guys can do. You don't have to just take the $5 right away. We can save it up as long as you keep track, and I keep track. And we can either push it towards a t-shirt, because the t-shirts cost $15. If you'd like a sleeve of golf balls, those also cost $15. So, Joanne, if you want to continue to save up, we certainly can. I will have a merch drop again somewhere down the road because I want white versions of these. It's like a white sweatshirt and a white t-shirt. Does not matter. You don't have to make up your mind now. I know you're listening to this. So, again, congratulations, and we'll figure it out. But just to show that this is not rigged, once I hit yes, it just keeps giving me random names and whatever video that you commented on. So Joanne's just lucky, but also Joanne participates a bunch. So if I do this, this just continues creating the randomizer. So just so you guys know, the more entries you have, the better chances you have to win. Okay. Now, not only do I do a weekly giveaway, I also have kind of like a rebate of sorts for Prize Picks. You use the promo code SweetSpot while signing up and putting at least $20 in your account. I'm going to give you $20 back. That way I reward you for using my promo code. We both help each other out. Plus, Prize Picks is match your deposit up to $100. You're going to hear that chime from everybody that does have a Prize Picks affiliation. Hey, you use my promo code, you're going to get a deposit match up to $100. You're going to get that from me. You're also going to get $20 back just for using the promo code SweetSpot. So if you haven't signed up yet, do so. There's a link in the description below. That'll get you to the homepage. Once you hit sign up, boom, that promo code SweetSpot will be planted right in there. Super simple, super easy. And also, just so you know, every Friday they have a flex. A free flex is what they call it, a super flex, which means you put $20 in your account or put $20 towards any flex selection, any flex pick, which means you need to select somewhere between 4 to 6 picks, use the flex option, and choose your overs and unders that way. If you hit with your $20, you make your money. If you don't, Prize Picks will refund your $20. It'll credit you. So if you use cash, you know, in your balance for the $20, it'll come back as credit. So you can't pull that credit out, but you can use that again for the next Friday. Me and a couple buddies, we like to do that every single Friday. I usually, honestly, just play Prize Picks Friday. I got my balance from like $60 up to $240 doing it that way. Super, I mean, it's easy money. Easy money. And by the way, the money you win is cash in your account. So you could pull that whenever you want. So if you are interested and you're in a state, once again, check out the link in the description. That'll send you to the homepage for Prize Picks. Sign up using the promo code SweetSpot. Put at least $20 in your account. That way you can play that super flex. I will give you $20. So too will Prize Picks because they're going to match your deposit. And it literally just costs you that initial deposit plus your sign-up information. So check that out. I also have a few things that I like to provide. Really just, it's the cheat sheet that I'm going to show you right now. All you have to do is check the link in the description there. That'll get you to the cheat sheet. You can use all this information because I will cover this in this video. Because I also have a sheet that looks just like this. This is for you folks out there. I keep this read-only, so if you want to manipulate the data however you'd like, just go up to the file menu and make a copy. That way it saves to your Google account. You can go in there and change all the information however you want. I don't like to let people write in it when it's a community spreadsheet, because you never know where bad actors will show up or when they'll show up. And I don't want someone to ruin this for everyone else. So it is here for you. You can use the filters that are on here. I have a DraftKings filter in the Dream Sheet, and I also have a bucket system that you can go ahead and hit the filter there for the bucket system. So again, I will try to remember going throughout this video, letting you guys remind you that you can use this cheat sheet and go through the same information that I will be going over. I do have to make one quick update. There we go. Got to change the grass stats, or the headers for the grass stats. Okay, so this is available to you. Not only is this available to you, but we're going to be building lineups later tonight, and I build lineups using the optimizer. If you want access to the optimizer, it looks like this. This is my copy of it. So if I zoom in a little bit to make it easier for you guys to see, basically it utilizes all the bucket system information that I will be covering in this video. It also includes the Marquee Tee Times that I, again, will be covering in this video. And then the SweetSpot ranks basically are here within the metrics. Like the ranks are based off of these points. I will cover that here in the strategy portion of the video. So all of this should be explained to you pretty effectively, efficiently, however you want to call it. And this is, you guys can use this if you'd like. All you got to do is email me at SweetSpotDFS, or sorry, SweetSpotDFS@gmail.com. Be subscribed to the channel. If I do not recognize you, I most likely won't send it without seeing some kind of confirmation. And one of those things you can do is just leave a message here in the chat. Or if I do know that you are a subscriber, I'll send it to you one way or the other. And I do have my email up right now. So if you do want this while I'm live, I will send it to you. So again, contact me right there. SweetSpotDFS@gmail.com. Let me know you want the optimizer and I will send it to you. That covers all of the giveaways, all the reminders, and exactly what this video is going to be about in this preview and strategy video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this. And we're going to start on the first piece of the information. This is with the preview video. We're going to go into the course information, or the course and tournament information. So the first place that I like to go to when looking at a golf tournament is the GCSAA. Go to the tournament fact sheets. You can find that all the way down at the bottom of that website under the media files or something like that, media room. You're going to find tournament fact sheets there. Go ahead, click on the Wyndham Championship. First of all, you're going to see what golf course is being used. You're going to go ahead and see where it's located. Those are two pieces of data. All that I'm covering here is data that you can research on your own on whatever website you want to use. So again, you have the tournament, the golf course, the location. Use all that to your advantage. We have the par here, the yardage, and the stimp. Sometimes, you know, these tournament fact sheets don't include the stimp. It's awesome when they do. You can use that as a data point for researching. Of course, you get average green size and all these other course statistics. Use that however you'd like. A lot of that isn't super important to me. What's really important to me is the turf grass. So you're going to see it's Bermuda all the way through. All the way through. And we haven't seen Bermuda in a long time. Usually the Bermuda courses that we do look at are your southern golf courses earlier on in the year. A lot of them have overseed on them. So use Bermuda with your putting stats. Use Bermuda with your results, your average results on Bermuda. I think those are all fine to use with turf grass. If you are wondering, once again, yes, you can find this on the cheat sheet. So I have Bermuda grass over here in columns AA through AD. This is all average finishing positions except for the last year Bermuda. So I show you how many Bermuda events these golfers have been in since 2013, what their average finishing position was, the percentage they finish inside the top 10 on Bermuda tracks. Again, just to repeat, this information goes back to 2013. And then last year, Bermuda means 365 days ago to now. What was their average finishing position? That's what you get here with this stat. So you can go ahead and sort on any of these, this information. I do have a second grass stat here. Just ignore this. This was from a few weeks ago, or two weeks ago at the Open. If anything, if you want to highlight those columns and then just go to hide, that's probably the best way to do it. But we have our grass stats right here. So that is included when I talk about these, the turf grass information. Now you can check out the additional notes and use that to however you'd like. The only other piece of information that I like to use when researching is Donald Ross. So the architect usually. And if you know that the renovations that have been done are significant, use that architect as well. But I think this is pretty negligent, or negligent. We don't need to use that information. Just go ahead and use Donald Ross. And then that's about it when it comes to these tournament fact sheets. they're all really good data points to use for researching. Now, another thing that I like to look at when discussing the golf course is kind of the mapping. I know you probably have seen a lot of other podcasts out there, or maybe you haven't, that do talk about mapping. What I like to do is use basically Blue Golf. They do a pretty decent job of just showing you kind of like the yardage book and seeing what each course looks like. I basically pretend that I'm golfing that golf course. How would I hit a shot if I hit it 300 yards? Would I need to fade it off the tee to avoid trouble? Would I need to draw it off the tee to avoid trouble? Or does it not matter? Same thing applies for approach. And it's not so much fading or drawing around trouble, but it's getting yourself into the best scoring opportunity position. That's the whole thing that I'm looking at when it comes to mapping it out. You know, hitting a fade into the fairway, does that get me in the best spot of the fairway that I possibly need? If so, then that's where I'll hit fade. This is all based off of scoring opportunities. Has nothing to do really with what is necessary, because golfers could just club down and not have to hit that shot shape. They can place their golf ball somewhere else, but to get the best opportunity for birdies, that's what I have here. And in all honesty, one shot shape doesn't really matter more than the other. I mean, yeah, there are more fades that you'd want to hit, but there's only 3 holes where I see a fade that's required, and only 1 hole where a draw is required. So I'm going to ignore shot shapes, but if you want to use it, I do also have that here in column P on the cheat sheet with shot shapes. It's not completed with each golfer in there, but for most of the golfers, yes, you do have the shot shapes that they, or at least that I have noticed them hit. They have talked about hitting whatever their more comfortable shot is, or just basically watching them long enough to understand they just go to one shot shape. So that's what I have in column P. Again, that's on the cheat sheet, found with the link in the description. I don't think we need to talk about the mapping really anymore. The other thing I like to talk about is kind of your average winning score. So if you were to look at every year, it looks like we get to about 20 under every single year. Sure, there was one year where we had 15 under. A couple other ones here that kind of go a little closer to par, I guess, if you want to call it that. Minus 14 in 2013. But it's going to be around minus 20. So if you wanted to like research minus 18 under to minus 22 under, and just see, you know, which golfers tend to do better with that type of scoring, I think that's a good way to research which golfers would be best in your lineups. The other thing I like to do is kind of go over the cuts. So it looks like minus 1 is here. It's basically this number minus 1. So minus 2, minus 1 would be minus 3. Minus 1 here, minus 3, minus 4. That's interesting. Minus 3. So it looks like we're getting around minus 3. Minus 3 is going to be the average cut score. That also can be used for research purposes. So that's the only reason I mention all that information. We have 156 golfers in the field this week. It's top 65 in ties. The other thing to go with this is the last regular season event before the playoffs start. So top 70 in ties make it to the next, or to the first round of the playoffs. You're going to hear that a lot. You're going to hear that a lot, not only on the broadcast, but you're also going to hear it a lot with these DFS previews and strategy videos, because it's a thing. It's a thing that you're going to have to consider when building your lineups, because there are some people that are motivated. Justin Thomas is like 79th or 78th in the FedEx Cup playoffs. Like in the rankings currently, which means he's probably going to have a top 10, maybe a top 20 finish in order to get into the playoffs. So he needs to play well. If you want to use that as a reason to select a golfer, by all means do so. I've got no issue with that. I think that's, you know, I can't remember who was talking to me about it. It could have been like the Fantasy Golf Pod or something like that, where they were going to select golfers based off of, what's it called? Motivation. They wanted to pick golfers that were motivated. Now, I do think that's going to play a little factor into some of these golfers' performances. I would tend to say it's going to affect golfers more negatively than it will be positively. Because if you ever golf, if you've ever played competitive golf, when you start pressing, I mean, it's the whole pressure makes diamonds or bursts pipes. That's what kind of goes into this. It's like, you know, Justin Thomas could put a lot of pressure on himself to play better, and maybe he will. A lot of times you can't will a golf ball into a hole. Like, golf is a much different sport than, say, basketball or football, where you can will yourself to the hole or to the hoop or to the end zone. You can will yourself using your physical aggression. That doesn't work with golf. You can't bully a golf hole. You can't bully, or you could bully a golf ball, but you can't bully a hole. You can't say, you must take this golf ball. You know, you can't do that. And what will happen is, now we play psychology, the psychology game. When a golfer is pressing and he isn't making any of his putts, it's just going to multiply. That pressure will multiply every single hole. And a lot of times what will end up happening is they'll play worse. So I think it negatively impacts people more than it positively impacts. However, there is the possibility that some of these golfers will play better. If you took a group of 20, I'll say this, take a group of 20 golfers that are on the bubble, the perceived bubble, 3 of them will play good. The other 17 will not. So you're going to have to determine which 3 of those are. That's the nature of this beast. Like, obviously we know I use the bucket system to determine what performance trends tend to finish inside the top 10 every single week. We see a lot of the same things over and over again. You take 20 golfers that have the best recent form or the best course history, and only 1 to 3 of them finish inside the top 10. That's how I also view the FedEx Cup playoffs. So I don't think, you know, you don't want to find 6 golfers that are in that bubble and just build your lineups around them, because I think that's going to be more devastating for you than it'll be rewarding. So my thoughts, you do you. You know, if you feel that way, then you do that. I just think that's probably foolish. I don't have the stats to show you that in front of me. I don't keep that stat. Like, I don't track that stat, so I couldn't go back any of these years, even if I wanted to. It's just, I know through competitive golf, that is usually how the mind works. That's how psychology works when it comes to golf. These golfers are not, I'll make a bold statement here. These golfers are nearly the same as you and I when it comes to psychology. So if you've seen this on the golf course, they're also going to experience it. They're going to feel the same thing. And they're not any better at the psychology thing, well, maybe a little bit, but not by much, than you and I. So, yeah, my 2 cents. But that's going to cover the course information, or the course and tournament information. There isn't anything else to really talk about. I suppose strength of field. Let me just look at that really quick. 286 is what I have. Now, this is the old ranking style, which is taking in the FedEx Cup position from last year, looking at the current strength of field. I don't add the little bonus that used to happen, like a home field advantage. So if you have the top 10 golfers from the FedEx from last year in the field this year, then it adds a little bit more to it. I don't do that. We could just call it raw strength of field. But yeah, 286, that's about average. 270 to 290 is about average. So we're right in that number. So you can also use that as a data point when it comes to researching. But that will then cover the course and tournament information. We're going to go on to the next part, which is one of my favorite ones, pass optimal and GPP winning lineups. We're going to start in 2017 looking at optimal lineups. I do not have a GPP winning lineup here, but here we use all 50,000 of the salary because we have to use $11,500 Henrik Stenson and a $10,000 Webb Simpson. So 2 10K and above golfers, pretty crazy. And we have a 7, 7, 7, 6. If you're wondering why I'm saying it that way, it's just kind of my MO. I usually like to let you know, or I usually advocate, start your lineups with a 10K golfer, then a 9K, then an 8K, 2 7Ks, and a 6K. Or a faster way to say that is Start with a 10-9-8-7-7-6 approach. That's the best way to start. 20% of your GPP winning lineups have that start to it. 11% of your optimal lineups also have that start to it. And that's the highest in both of those categories. So optimal as well as GPP. So you start there. The next more common one is a 10-9-8-7-7-7. That's both GPP winning lineups as well as optimal lineups. And that is going into the territory, like when it comes to optimals, if you go that 10-9-8-7-7-6 and then you add the 10-9-8-7-7-7, now you have 20% of your optimal lineups built that way. And there's no other combination higher than that. When it comes to GPPs, it's like 30% when you combine those two. And then the third most common one is a 10-9-8-7-6-6. So you can tell you start 10-9-8-7, and then you've got basically, you know, you do whatever you think you need to. You add one more 7 and a 6, add 2 more 7s, or add 2 6s. And you have nearly 30% of your optimal lineups. You have 30% or 40% of your GPP winning lineups. It's a good way to start. It gives you the best step forward. So that's why I talk about the 10-9-8-7-7-6 method. And here you have 10-10, 3 7s and a 6, which makes me or reminds me to tell you, you make 2 substitutions, 2. So I say 10-9-8-7-7-6. Well, in this scenario, we sub one of our 9s up to a 10, so now we have 2 10s, and we sub one of our 8s, or the 8 we're supposed to have, down to a 7. Now we have 3 7s. So we have our 10, 3 7s and a 6. So there's our two substitutions. And that was 2017. So we moved to 2018. Our optimal also only left, it left minimal money, $100. So we're using up $49,900 of the salary. That starts 10K, 10K. Interesting. 7, 7, 6, 6. So this kind of breaks that 2 substitution. It doesn't really work as well as, it doesn't work the way I say it should. Because you only, 1 tier down for salaries is 1 substitution. We would have to make 3 total. We have a 9 go up to a 10, and then our 8 has to drop down 2 spots to a 6. So I count that as 3 substitutions. But there you go, 2 7s and 2 6s. Whereas the last one we had 3 7s and a 6. But 2 10Ks, which is crazy. Just, it's crazy. One, I don't have the DK points here, but I could say we could make a substitution and say we move one of these 6Ks and the 11K. We add a 9. No, that wouldn't work. That's leaving too much money on the table. I guess if you remove the Brandt Snedeker, you could do something like this, but then I'm sure you won't win a GPP that way. This would use up 49,500. So it would be really close, and you'd have a 10K, a 9K, 3 7s, and a 6. But just showing you inside the top 10, there are different ways to build lineups. 2019, your optimal lineup left $200 on the table. So now we've done 3 years of looking at optimal lineups, and neither one of them has left more than $200 on the table. This one starts with an $11,000 golfer in Webb Simpson. Then we have an 8K, 7, 9. Let me just highlight them first and then talk about them. So we have a 10K, 9K, 8K, 7, 7, 6. So there you go, 10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 6. That was your optimal lineup. Like I said, that's usually, it's 11% of optimal lineups start 10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 6. Your optimal lineup left, or not optimal, your GPP winning lineup left $200 on the table. And that one looks like it's a bit more balanced. 9,000, 9,000, 8,000, 7, 7, 7. So you could go balanced and win a GPP, but obviously you can see more of our golfers in the optimal were inside the top 10 than in the GPP winning lineup. I guess when it comes to points, optimal scored 731 and the $1 scored 692. So 40 points was the difference between those, meaning, you could have beat the GPP pretty close or pretty easily and not have the optimal lineup. In 2020, there we go. We're finally, now we leave a bunch of money on the table for optimal. This happens, here and there. So $3,200 were left on the table. And it does not include the $11,000 Webb Simpson that was in 3rd place. But I bet you we could build a lineup with him. It starts with $6,100 Jim Herman, $9,100 Billy Horschel, 8, 8, 7, 6. So just to repeat that a different way, that's a 9, 2 8s, 1 7, and 2 6s. Pretty difficult. That scored 759 points. And then our $5 drive, the green lineup only left $100 on the table. And it also was a bit more balanced. 9K, 9K, 2 8s, a 7, and a 7. 49,900. I bet you we can make a lineup with Webb Simpson. Let's see. By the way, that scored 685.5 points. That's a 70-point total between the two. So let's see. If I go Webb, Billy, Jim Herman, probably include Doc Redman and Harold Varner. How much money do I have left? Oh, I have enough. Okay. If I went here. Nope. Oh, yeah. I could do $7,000 Zach Johnson. There we go. We're going to call this a Sweet Spot Optimal because we're using 49,800 for our salary. And that way you can go 1098,776. That there. Go over and we'll color this green and call it or just how about the Sweet Spot Optimal? I think that's what I usually call it. There we go. Let's see how much money or how many points this one scored. 749.5. That's 10 points behind the optimal lineup. And it clears the drive the green by still 60 points. So leaving $200 on the table, starting 1098,776, $6,100 Jim Herman, by the way. So you really couldn't, you know, you would have to use someone low 6K if you went this route, but showing you how else you can build lineups. In 2021, we have an optimal that left $3,000 on the table. And that were basically your 5 golfers here up at the top with Chesson Hadley down here. So 9K, 8K, 8K, 7, 6, 6. That is what made your optimal lineup. It scored 706.5 points. Your $5 GPP, I was going to say, is another balanced lineup, but it starts with Webb Simpson at 10K. 9K Siwoo, 8K Kevin Kisner, 8K Kevin Na, and then 2 6K golfers that use up $50,000 of the salary completely. Scored 675 on the button. So a 30-point difference between that. The realistic optimal, I have using 2 9Ks, 2 8Ks, a 7, and a 6. That's pretty darn close to starting that 1098,776. We're just moving 110 down to a 9. And then 1 7 up to an 8. So there's your 2 substitutions. That scored 703.5 points. That's only 3 points behind the optimal lineup. So different ways to get there. In 2022, our optimal left $500 on the table and it scored 719. Looks like we could swap Russell Henley for Max McGreevy. Just keep that in mind because that would change the price tag or the pricing for the optimal. This one used 10,500 Sung J M, $9,800 Russell Henley, $8,600 Tom Kim, and then we have a 7K and 2 6s. Yep, that's what we can do. It said we can replace Russell Henley for Max McGreevy. So if we were to do that, it'd be $45,700. We don't want to leave a lot of money on the table, so I think that's why we include Russell Henley here. But this one is a 1098,766. Remember, that's the 3rd most common optimal lineup build. And we have it here at the Wyndham Championship in 2022. Now, because that was 49,500, I don't have a realistic optimal or a Sweet Spot Optimal over here. Your $5 GPP winning lineup scored 663.5 points. So that was 50 points behind the optimal lineup. It left $400 on the table. And it started with Sung Jae, Tom Kim, Taylor Moore, John Huh, Taylor Pendrith. And then I think I need to scroll down a little bit more to find the last guy, Keith Mitchell. Wow. Way down here. 54th place, Keith Mitchell. So last week, you really could have, or not last week, last year, you really could have I guess, easily taking down the GPP winning lineup as long as you had those top guys. Because Keith Mitchell down there, that's very uncommon to see in a GPP winning lineup. So that covers your pass optimal and GPP winning lineups for the Wyndham Championship. I think you do that. I mean, however you want to start your builds, it looks like 10Ks. You can start with a 10K every single year and do just fine. I don't really think the 10Ks this year are all that bad. Sung Jae, Hideki, Russell Henley, Sam Burns. I don't think those are bad to start with. Course history would probably be the way to go because you can see Webb Simpson was in a lot of those top lineups. Sung Jae, good course history last year. 2021. Who do we have? Webb Simpson, really good course history, obviously. 2020, we had Webb up there again with good 10K golfers with good course histories. I mean, and it's Webb Simpson most of the time. That just kind of screams Hideki Matsuyama this week, or not Hideki. Jesus, Sung J.M. That kind of screams Sung J.M. I don't know why I don't even know why Hideki was in my mind there. But anyways, Sung Jae kind of screams Sung Jae. Sam Burns might be a close second for possibilities with 10K golfers with good course history. So also you can find all that information on the cheat sheet in a different way. You just go to this course fit page here, or the course fit section, and just look at course history. You can find that same stuff that I was just looking at. Obviously mine's just a little bit different, but you can see Sam with 13 is 13th is his average finishing position, and then you have Sung Jae there with 10.25. I imagine Sam Burns probably has only played one event at the Wyndham. Let's double check. Sam Burns, yeah, one time he's played here, and that was in 2020, and that's where he got his 13th. Whereas Sung Jae has several finishes: a 6th, a 9th, a 24th, and a 2nd. Wow. Let's just look really quickly. For those wondering, you know, Sung Jae's recent form heading into this tournament is not so good. Like, he's got some pretty poor finishes. That average finishing position is 54.67. Guess what he was in 2022? 63.25. Now, he did have a second place finish before heading into this tournament, but it was a miscut, or not a miscut. It was an 81st finish at the Open. Just as Scottish Open was a miscut. The US Open was a miscut. 2023, what do we have? We had a top 20 at the Open, but a miscut at the 3M, a miscut at the Genesis. So that's, you know, pretty good for par, or whatever the saying is. And then he also had a miscut at the US Open with some middling finishes at the Rocket Mortgage and the Travelers. So I think we can go back to Sung Jae-im. 50% cut made percentage in 2023. In 2022, it was 6.67. Why was that? That must be a miscalculation, because these were made cuts and this was a miscut. So that's 50% also. Good thing I don't track this. Not so much track it, but like I don't record it for future. What am I trying to think of? There's a different word than what I was just using. Shoot, I can't think of it. But anyways, this is just for you to look at now. It's not something that I analyze in future years. Obviously, I'm not using it now. You haven't heard me talk about cut made percentage. So anyways, does not matter. But it's pretty much the same thing. So course history, does that reign supreme when it comes to this tournament? I know I heard my friend Chad Eckert say it was recent form, but I think it is course history, especially when it comes to these 10K golfers. We don't see Webb up there, but you know, if Webb was playing better golf, he'd be a 10K golfer, and you'd probably want to play him at this event. So there we go. That will be the end of the pass optimal and GPP winning lineups. The next thing to talk about is a review of the 3M Open. We are reviewing the 3M Open from the Wyndham Championship preview and strategy video. I was there at the 3M Open. It was in my home state of Minnesota. I was there Saturday, Sunday. It was fun Saturday. I mean, it was fun both days for different reasons. Saturday, I followed a little bit more golf. Sunday, not so much. And a lot of that had to do with the fact that Lee Hodges was in first place by a mile. Like, it got to, he had like a 3-shot lead. JT Poston was really close to him, but he was going to take it down. Like, it was, I think he got to hole 14 and he was at 23 under or something like that. And the nearest competitor was like 16, 15, or no. It would have been JT Poston. But I don't remember where he was at. I think he was like 17 at the time. Maybe he was 18. And it was just like, you know, the vibe there was just whatever. It wasn't that big of a deal. It was a lot of fun though. Had a lot of fun. One of the best weekends of the year. Beautiful weather. They tried to move up tee time Saturday because of an incoming storm. No storm happened. And if it did, it was late. Yeah, it was a bummer because you had to get to the event faster. It just stunk. Anyways, lots of fun. That's why this preview and strategy video was a little late. I did want to try to get a preview out, but I didn't get home. I ended up golfing with Josh Bennett from the Fantasy Golf Pod. We went out Monday morning at Edinburgh Golf Course, which, hey, shout out to them. That course was way better than I thought it was going to be. Super good conditions, and the price was, I mean, in comparison to other courses around the area, down there in the cities, it was $63 to play golf, and it was immaculate conditions. The fairways were mown really short, so you could get really tight lies, add a lot of spin to your shots. The greens were rolling really fast. They're fairly firm. It was a lot of fun. That golf course was awesome. So that's what caused me to be a little late Monday. I didn't get to really put together the data, so I could not go live, or I could not do a preview video Monday night. Just didn't have enough time. So that's where we are here with the preview video of the Wyndham Championship. And again, this is the review portion of it, of the 3M Open. And the reason we're going over this is to talk about the bucket system as well as the Marquee Tee Times to see how well the SweetSpot process did. Now, one thing I want you to look at is this column here. This determines if the bucket was successful, like the projection that I had. So I talk about this in all of my previews and strategy videos. We go over the projections. In this column is the minimum projection. We always round down. Whatever this number is, you round down. So this 0.97, we round down to 0. Our maximum, we always round up. So 1.62 goes to 2. So this projection is 0 to 2. In order for this to be a success, the column here in the top 10 needs to fall within this range. And you can see that that first number does not. So then there's the second piece to it. If in the optimal lineup, this number falls inside that range, it is then a success. I do not do anything with the SweetSpot Optimal. That's just for my eyes just to look at, or for our eyes to look at. So you can see there was 2 golfers in the optimal lineup from this bucket. That means it was a success. So as you scroll through this and you look at everything, we have only 1 bucket that was a failure, and that was our recent Form 2 bucket. There was really nobody that finished, well, no one finished inside the top 10. And I said you wanted to play 1 to 3. So we could not build a lineup or with all 6 golfers that were inside the top 10. There was 0 there. There was also 0 in the optimal lineup, meaning this was an unsuccessful bucket, but the rest of them were successful. So 35 out of 36 buckets were successful. Despite this being a very volatile week, you know, the 3M Open with all the water, things changed quite a bit. A lot of the 10K golfers or a lot of the high-priced golfers played really poorly. I didn't really have a super good week, but I had some lineups that were in contention to make some good money. I didn't lose a lot. What was actually more surprising to me is I had a throwaway elite. I'm talking about ReignMakers here. I had a throwaway elite lineup that I just put in the top 13 get a legendary pack, and then the top 63 get a, I think it's 63, get a an elite pack. I had Martin Laird as my captain. Lee Hodges, for whatever reason, he was a rare card of mine. I just threw him in that one. And then I had like Matty Schmidt and Kevin Roy or something like that, 2 guys that missed the cut, and then some other random guy, I can't even think of it, got me an elite pack. Didn't give me a good card, but still pretty good. It's like there's Martin Laird there and Lee Hodges. So I had first and second place. It was a throwaway lineup. If there's ever a reason to get into ReignMakers, it's because you can have throwaway lineups that win you things back. So that's pretty cool. I think that's awesome. Anyways, outside of ReignMakers, if we come back to the SweetSpot process, 35 out of 36 buckets were successful. You can see that I did build a lineup, a SweetSpot Optimal, that did include 1 golfer from this bucket. Again, I use the projections completely. Like I don't take shortcuts. I don't tell you one thing and then do a different thing. I follow everything that the SweetSpot process does, and that includes these projections. So recent form 2s, you know, I wanted to build a SweetSpot Optimal that had 1 golfer from that bucket inside it. Now, before we get into the Optimal versus the $5 GPP versus the SweetSpot Optimal, let's look at Marquee Tee Times. So if I go ahead and put a filter on this, I have this grouped by the best groupings based off the SweetSpot ranks. So I add all of these up, and whatever's lowest, you know, whatever group is the lowest will become group number 1, and so on and so forth. So it's rank ordered. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight all, you know, each one of these, or every 3rd golfer, because those are your groups. They were grouped in 3s. All right, this one was weird. Let me do that, and then I'll do this. There we go. I look at the top 9 groups for multiple reasons. One is the optimizer only allows me to do 9 groups because you can only have so many statements in there, so many if and then statements. Also, you can only see 9 groups, you know, clearly on the screen when I zoom in. So it works out perfect. Now, the rule is you want to select 2 to 4 golfers from the Marquee Tee Times to build in your lineups, because 2 to 4 golfers tend to find their way in the optimal lineup 90% of the time. This year did not. You can tell because I always put a little black tick mark to determine who the optimal lineup golfer is. JT Poston was the only guy. So obviously we didn't get our 2 to 4, but I do have these green salaries here to show you what the SweetSpot Optimal did. And then the golfers that are highlighted in blue are what the GPP winning lineups did. So the GPP winning lineup, they had 2 of these guys. The SweetSpot Optimal had 2 of these guys. We'll see how well the SweetSpot Optimal did versus the GPP. But when it comes to the optimal lineup, obviously the thing we're chasing, we only had 1 golfer that was in there. Tony Finau would have been close. If he would have played a better Sunday round, he could have probably got up there. The other rule that goes with these Marquee Tee Times is you don't play golfers from the same group. You only select 1 golfer from a group. So even though Emiliano Grillo here finished 10th, we wouldn't have played him with JT Poston because they played in the same group together. You also see this group down here with Tom Hoagie, Nick Hardy, and Billy Horschel. They all finished inside the top 20. So you could probably put those 3 guys together in a lineup and you could have cashed somewhere. But anyways, the Marquee Tee Times, yeah, not 100% successful because we don't have 2 to 4 golfers in the optimal lineup within the Marquee Tee Times, but we do have 2 in the SweetSpot Optimal. So let's go ahead and review the Optimal versus the GPP versus the SweetSpot Optimal. So the SweetSpot Optimal are all the golfers here with the green salaries. You can only see 5 because we got to scroll down for our 6th golfer, believe it or not. Steven Yeager, $9,100. The little black tick marks here indicate the optimal lineup. And then the blue highlighted golfers, they are your GPP winners. So your optimal left $5,200 on the table. It scored 728.5 points. It was all the golfers here at the top of the leaderboard. So we have 2 8K golfers, 3 7K golfers, and a 6K golfer. That is what made it your optimal lineup, $44,800. Your GPP winning lineup used Tony Finau, 10-6. Hodges at 10-3, Poston at 84, Cam Davis at 9,000. Is this guy going for my heart here? Because I see a 10-9-8-7-7 start already. Who is their 6th golfer? It's another 7K golfer. That's fine. So it's 10-9-8-7-7-7. That's your 2nd most common optimal lineup build. Here, the GPP winning lineup had it. So congratulations to them. They scored 653.5 points. Optimal again scored 728.5. So using every rule that goes with the sweet spot process, we were able to get a lineup that used $49,800. It went 10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 6. $14,800. All we got to do is beat 653.5 points, and we score 658. So we did. So the sweet spot optimal, following the Marquee Tee Times, following the bucket system projections, beat the GPP winning lineup by nearly 5 points, 4.5 if we're being technical, I believe, right? Yeah, 4.5. So the sweet spot process was 100% successful, despite only having 35 out of 36 buckets correct, and also having only one golfer in the Marquee Tee Times in the optimal lineup. So that's kind of how I gauge success. Can we take down a GPP? If so, it was good, right? It was successful. So that covers the review for the 3M Open. Of course, I talk about the review because I want to go into the bucket system for the next event, which obviously we're talking about with the Wyndham Championship. So when we come to the Wyndham Championship, actually, let me do this quickly. Let me say some things first, because I see some people rolling in the chat. I've already said hi to Gabe, JK, and Joanne. Ryan, are you still in the chat? I know it's a Doc Redman week for you. I remember the conversation you said last year during this event. I hope it works out for you. I don't think I'll be playing Doc Redman this week. Despite it being like a home field event for him. Shot Like Harden, what's going on, man? Old Elvis, haven't seen you in the chat for a while. Welcome back. And Joshua Maz, howdy to you as well. All right, let's talk about the bucket system for the Wyndham Championship. I don't think I'm going to spend a super long time talking about the bucket system, just because this is a preview / strategy video, and I want to build some lineups here at the end and talk about more golf related things. But if you are new to the channel, basically what I like to do is use the bucket system, which if you're unfamiliar with, there's a video in the description that'll explain all about it, or a link to a video in the description that'll explain all about it. If you want to follow along with me, I have a cheat sheet. Again, link in the description for this. Go to the bucket system portion of it. Go ahead and throw that filter on there that says the bucket system. And that way you can follow along with me, because I'm going to go stat by stat and just quickly go through all the projections. So we start with the last year stat, which means what did they do last year? And of course, I tracked this dating back to 2014. 2013 is when I first started tracking stats, but I don't look at 2012 for 2013, because then I would track stats going back to 20. You see like that paradox that continues to happen. So 2014 is when we start the last year stat, when we start looking at it for top 10 finishes. I calculate the success rate for all golfers that have ever been in that bucket. And then to create my projections, we do use that success rate. We look at how many golfers are in that bucket this year. We also look at the strength of field points that are represented for that bucket. That will help us get our projections. And our minimum, if you add this up, it equals 6. Our max goes up to 10. I want to find golfers that'll finish inside the top 10. So max is what I have for 10. 6 is just to make sure it covers our lineups, because we need to build a lineup with 6 golfers in it. So that's how the projections are created. There are other things to look at. So like when I say, hey, this projection is technically 1 to 2, but obviously there are rules that go with it. If this number isn't greater than 2, this automatically has to go to 0. So this first bucket, the last year 1 bucket, would be technically 0 to 2. The reason being is I've done this long enough. I know you need a 2-point buffer. It's the only way to be accurate when it comes to the projections. You have to be careful, especially when we only have 14 golfers in that bucket. That's a pretty low number when we usually see about 15, yeah, somewhere north of 15 golfers in that bucket. Other stats we can look at. Not every year do we have an optimal lineup golfer, or a golfer that is in the optimal lineup from this bucket, but pretty darn close. 83% of the time we do. That's pretty good. And then when we look at top 5 frequencies, 8.76%. That's not super good, but it's better than most. So when we look at these projections, I guess I'll cover the things that we need to be looking at. So 0 to 2 would be our last year ones. And if you want to follow along with me on the cheat sheet, all you have to do is go to here. I'll pull up the cheat sheet here. Go to the dream sheet, put that filter on, the DraftKings filter. And basically in the last year column, clear everything out. And then whatever bucket we're looking at or whatever bucket you want to look at, you just select that bucket. So last year ones. And there are 14 here. So let me go ahead and do that to my sheet. Right here. I'm going to hide this column. We don't need to see that it's redundant information. And I do have it sorted by the Marquee Tee Times. Anyways, I'm going to sort it by salaries and look at last year ones. So there's our 14 golfers. We have 2 10K golfers, including Sungjae Im, Russell Henley, drops into the 8K range a little bit, and then our 7s and 6s. I don't necessarily look at our 7s and 6s. If you want to find a golfer to anchor your lineups around, I think you just look at 8K and above. But if there is someone in the 7K range, then if you go for it. I think pick that golfer if it fits your lineup builds. My eyes gravitate towards Sungjae. We were just talking about it in the pass optimal and GPP winning lineups. 10K golfers with a really good course history like Sungjae just shows up more inside the top 10 than usual. So Sungjae is a pretty good play, but if you want to be contrarian, maybe it's Russell Henley, maybe you're dropping down here. It is whatever you want it to do or whatever you want it to be. So that is your last year ones. Again, I'm going to fire through this, just giving you ideas of what these golfers look like. 0 to 2 last year 2s. If I go ahead and look at those golfers, it starts with JT Poston at $9,200. And then it drops in the 7 and 6K range. Yeah, this is an easy one to consider 0 out of. But if there's some golfers, I mean, actually, you know, JT Poston's pretty hot, like playing pretty hot. Billy Horschel's kind of getting it back together. I think he's played this tournament pretty well in the past. I like Brendan Todd and Andrew Putnam. Those are pretty good golfers to choose from. And then there's some guys down here that I don't mind. Here's Ryan Henson's Doc Redman, obviously from this bucket. But the one thing I know I won't be doing is playing more than 2 golfers from this bucket. So it's 0 to 2. So Ryan, if you like Doc Redman and he's going to be an automatic staple in your lineups, you can't play 2 of these other guys up here. You only can play 1 more. That's how I look at the bucket system that way. The rest of these buckets are actually 0 to 2 until we get down to golfers who did not play the Wyndham Championship the year before. So we can breeze through this. So we're going to go and click our last year 3s. We have a limited amount here. So 0 to 2 is the projection here. I think that's warranted. Last year 4s. Interesting. We have Adam Scott, Aaron Rai to be our 8K and 9K golfers, and then our 7s down to our 6s. Yeah, Adam Scott is one of my favorite plays this week. 0 to 2 is the projection, though. Just remember that. And usually this is the worst bucket. It's crazy that Adam Scott, 76th place finish? I thought he was in that playoff last year. Was it the year before? It was the year before, 2021. That was the big... Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. Tom Kim won last year. I forgot about that. Okay. Yeah, that's not a good finish. This is usually like one of the worst buckets to select golfers from. So I don't know. Maybe we can have a trend breaker or mold breaker out of this. But yeah, 0 to 2. That's not super good. And Adam Scott was one of my favorite golfers. He probably still is going to be, but I will probably limit my exposure to him. And then our last bucket is the 2 to 4 last year 6s. Ooh. So last year 6 means they didn't play last year. Now this can include golfers that have 0 course history. I don't know what the number is when it comes to 0 course history, But, you know, when we look at someone like Ludwig Aberg or even Vincent Norman, just know it's the first time playing this event. And how about this? Let's go really quickly through each of these years and just find, okay, so Tom Kim right away. Tom Kim would be one of those golfers who did not play the year before and had 0 course history, but so too would Ben Griffin. So too was Taylor Moore. So too was Max McGreevy. So just last year, there were a ton of those golfers inside the top 10. In 2021, we do not see that, but I think that has more to do with the fact that this was a coming back from COVID year and there was no graduation. 2020, we have Sam Burns at $7,200. So yeah, that works. Chris Baker, Will Gordon, not great results. 2019, we do have Victor Hovland up there. So there we go. And Sungjae Im. So we have 2 there. 2019. 2018, not so much. John Oda and Doug Kim. Yeah, maybe not the greatest. 2017, we had our winner. Oh, see, now my data goes back to 2013. I know Henrik has played prior to 2013. I just don't have that data. So I don't know if he has course history. But we can use Richie Wierenski, who finished 10th place, Soren Kjeldsen, who finished 16th place, JJ Spawn, 68. 2016, I really don't know if Rafa had played prior to that, or Graham McDowell. Or I'm guessing Jim Furyk had, and so too had Kevin Na. But maybe they didn't. Maybe they didn't, and then this is more proof that you can use these guys. And then, yeah, Tiger's up here, so iffy. Very iffy. I guess... To me, you know, like last year, we had a graduation from the Korn Ferry to the PGA Tour, and then we had these golfers here finish inside the top 10. Obviously, it doesn't happen every single year, but for the golfers who are in the last year's 6 bucket, and obviously that bucket says play 2 to 4 golfers, hey, if there's a time to play Ludwig Aberg, maybe it's now. You know, Vincent Norman just won a couple weeks ago. Does that really matter? Who knows? Eric Cole. Let's see. Who has really good... I mean, Thomas Dietrich has really good Bermuda stats. Maybe we use Thomas Dietrich, who doesn't have course history. Or maybe we just ignore people who don't have course history. Or that I should say, yeah, ignore those that don't have course history and only play those that do have course history. I don't know. I wish I had these combinations that I could show you with the website. Whenever I get that up and running, that will show you guys that. But as of right now, I don't. I think, though, again, you want to select 2 to 4. Maybe we don't select more than 2 golfers from this bucket that have 0 course history. Maybe we just keep it 2 and under and then go from there. We'll see how lineup building goes. I mean, I will have the course history 2 or the course history 6s, which are no course history. We'll have that. I think 0 to 2 is our projection for that. So we won't play more than 2 golfers that have no course history. But of course, we'll touch up on that here shortly. I'm going to move on to the last week buckets. This is what happened last week at the 3M Open. And this is what happens I shouldn't say what happens. This is using data from every single Wyndham Championship and looking at the tournament that preceded the Wyndham and seeing what those finishes were for golfers that did finish inside the top 10. So success rates are pretty high for golfers that did play the week before and finish fairly well. Top 20, 20 to 40th place. We do have an outlier here with the 60 to 80th place, which is interesting. And also one other note, I saw this before jumping live. Normally we see about 30 golfers who missed the cut from the week before. This year we have 62. And then we inverse, like that. There's a flip. Normally we see 86 golfers who did not play the week before the Wyndham. We have 31 this week. So it just shows you, I think, people trying to get into the FedEx Cup playoffs, needing to play every event leading into it. So they had to play the 3M Open last week to get more points or try to get more points and then also play the Wyndham. So this is crazy. Literally, this is something that I don't think a lot of people are talking about. Not that it's not so much that people aren't talking about like it really matters determining, you know, what's going to happen this week, but just the mere fact that we normally see 86 golfers not play the week before the Wyndham, and this week it's 31. I think that tells you more about how tight the FedEx Cup playoffs are and how many golfers want to get into the FedEx Cup playoffs that are not yet eligible. Maybe that's what it is, the top 70 in ties, whereas if it was top 125 in ties that get into the playoffs, golfers wouldn't be playing this week, or wouldn't have played the 3M Open and just show up here. Maybe that's how it goes. Anyways, interesting point to bring up. I don't think it really matters when it comes to results, or I shouldn't even say that because we're going to see that in the projections. It just naturally happens. But when we look at this last year one projection, I mean, last week, dude, I always do that. Last week one projection technically says 1 to 3. Remember, we round up here, we round down here. So 1 to 3 technically. But I have this conservative projection over here for maximums, and that's to 2. So we round up to 2, which means the minimum has to be 0. So last week ones, to me, it's 0 to 3. And again, if you want to follow along on the cheat sheet, which again, you can find a link in the description for, make sure there's no other filters on and clear out the last year or the last week buckets and just select 1. So here we have, why is Bo in there? Or not Bo, Thomas Dietrich. He should not be. He should be a 6. I think I might have, I know why that happened. I'll double check to make sure that doesn't affect the other buckets. So when we go through this, I'll make sure. And maybe that's why. Oof, that would not be good. 2023, where's Dietrich? So it doesn't affect, now the bucket projections would be correct. It does not matter what's on my sheet. But that means I do have to update it for you guys also. Okay, that should be updated now, and I'll make these updates as I go through. I think it was just my copy over from the cheat sheet to this sheet. I don't know. Okay, so when it comes to golfers who finished last week inside the top 20, let's see if that actually changed the projections. A little bit, but not much. Okay. JT Poston, Cam Davis, Aaron Rai. These are golfers who finished inside the top 20 last week. Bo Hausler, Billy Horschel. Remember, this is a projection that's 0 to 3. I don't see many names that require our attention. Like, I like JT Poston, I like Cam Davis, but I don't know if I really necessarily want to play them. Same goes with Aaron Rai, Bo Hausler, and Billy Horschel. Billy Horschel does have my attention, by the way. I do not mind playing Billy Horschel this week. Streelman also has my attention. $7,300 is pretty cheap. And I think Alex Noren is pretty decent as well. So those are names that I don't mind playing. When it comes to the last week 2s, that's also a 0 to 2 projection. Again, I'm going to try to fire through this. Hideki Matsuyama and Adam Scott are up there. So this is really interesting because we just talked about the last year buckets with Scott, with Adam Scott, and him not being in like a super good bucket. Oh God, he's not even supposed to be in this bucket either. Okay, I'm gonna have to make some changes to your guys' spreadsheet once again. 97 and 84. So 84 here. If you are copying this over, you could just use this last week column here and make the updates there. I apologize that this isn't updated the proper way. Okay. So this is going to update the... It doesn't really matter with the projections. It will update the strength of field points, like what goes into it, but it really won't. It won't move it too much. But we do have less golfers than obviously I was just talking about. 16 of them. Now we don't have to talk about Adam Scott, which means 0 to 2. You know what? That's kind of hard to... It's a hard pill to swallow because I don't mind playing Hideki Matsuyama with like a Steven Yeager. I also wouldn't even mind putting like Patrick Rogers together with these guys. And I really like Eric Cole this week. So 0 to 2 for the projection is kind of tricky. This also kind of helps us. Obviously, the I see Anna. Anna's texting me and I'm texting her back. Hi, Anna. How's it going? Oh, Ryan. Yeah, let's get some chat participation. All right, let me get back here. So I really like Eric Cole this week. Like I do want to play Eric Cole. I think this is perfect. I like you know, he had a good finish at the Honda Classic, which was on Bermuda, quote unquote Bermuda. I feel like he's probably better than what his I just look at his Bermuda stats, and he's got terrible overall in last year Bermuda splits. But I still like him. I still want to play him. Kevin Yu, on the other hand, by the way, those are some good stats on Bermuda for being $70,000 or $7,000. So interesting choices there. Okay, I see you, Ryan. We'll pick your Nagels lineup this week. Okay, so let's go ahead and move to the next one. Last week 3s 0 to 2. Last week 3 and 4, there's 0 to 2s. So let's go ahead. Jesus, let's go ahead. Last week 3s. I'm probably gonna have to make some updates. Yep. Okay, so Brendan Todd did not play last week. Neither did Andrew Putnam. Neither did Scott Stallings or Zach Johnson. There we go. Perfect. 0 to 2 is a good projection here. I'm not even going to stick here. I think if you have some golfers that you have, can't think of the word, convictions on, go ahead and select them. Don't select more than 2 golfers though, honestly. I think that's a good safeguard. Just don't do it. Last week 4s. We also have 2 guys here that did not play, so let me go ahead and remove that. This is also a 0 to 2 bucket. Oh, my bad. We have Aberg, CT Pan. Those are good names. I don't mind them. CT Pan, $6,700. That seems like a pretty good value, if I'm being honest with you. And then the rest of the guys, not that big of a deal. 0 to 2 is a good projection. I'm going to go to last week 5s, and what I'm going to do is actually fix some of these that should not be last week 5s. And that might change the projections. I want that to happen. Actually, it wouldn't change the projections. Not that much. Okay. Let's see what the projections update to. They do actually. Good. All right. So this was like 2 to 5, which means I need to update this in the optimizer. So it's 1 to 3, which I think is way better, and then 1 to 3 last week 6s. Yeah, that's about right. That's what a normal bucket system is supposed to look like. Okay. So we want 1 to 3 from this bucket. Golfers who missed the cut last week, which includes Justin Thomas. It includes Sung J M. 1 to 3. Hey man, I don't mind playing Sung J and JT together. I think that's actually a pretty good start. And then there's Adam Hadwin, which is getting a lot of clout. So if you want 3 golfers, I think that's pretty good. You could do 3 golfers like that. What's going on, Byron? And let's just say shot like Harden, but I already said hi to you. We got our first lineup selection, Burnsy and Denny. Okay. Alrighty. So Sung J, JT, Adam Hadwin, I think those are all good plays. I know Byron's on Adam Hadwin this week. I know you don't care for JT, but I think this is a good spot for JT, and same too with Sung J. But the projections say 1 to 3, which means you'd have to ignore the rest of these guys down here, which maybe it's easy to do because I'm not seeing any names really. Austin Eckroat seems decent. I don't mind going to Højgaard or Pendrith, but yeah, I don't mind. I really like these 3 names, man. Really like these 3 names. And starting 10, 9, 8, pretty simple, pretty easy. But again, the projection's 1 to 3, so that means I can't really do much more with selecting golfers. We'll see how that goes. Maybe I'll build a lineup like that. We'll see. The next one is last week 6s. Those are golfers who did not play last week. Let me just double check that this is all correct as well. Yeah, there we go. And this starts with Russell Henley, Sam Burns, Adam Scott, Shane Lowry. Yeah, so 1 to 3 out of this bucket is probably going to be way more challenging to select than the 1 to 3 from the last week 5s. So interesting. Maybe you guys can figure out who your favorite golfers are here. I see Chris Kirk, which I believe, Byron, you're on. I'm not positive, but I think you are. So we'll see. All right. Going to the next one. Course history buckets. Does course history matter at this event? It looks like most of these projections are 1 to 2, 1 to 3. So yeah, having some course history matters. And then obviously we're going to talk about course history 6s. As you can see, 0 to 2. So we're talking about Ludwig Aberg. So those golfers who did not play last year, so the last year 6s, combined with the course history 6s, which have no course history, we don't want to play more than 2. However, if we're really looking at the stats, we've had up to 6 before, finishing inside the top 10. And that actually, I'm very curious. I want to look at what those numbers are. So if we were to go to course histories and look at the 6s, so we've had 3 years where we had 5 or more. Of those 3 years, let's double check how many golfers were actually in those buckets. So it was here, here, and here. So when we had high numbers, so 18, 19, 25, those are higher than any of the numbers in between. How many do we have this week? 31. So I guess having more than 2 course history 6s is definitely a possibility. I know the numbers here are a little bit different, but this is based off of a ranking scheme that I used to do. I don't use those anymore. But yeah, that's pretty interesting. So anyways, let's just go through this. It looks like we need to look 1 to 3s when it comes to course history 3s, 0 to 3 when it comes to course history 4s, but everything else is 0 to 2. So make sure you clear all the filters, meaning select everything and all the other filters. We'll go ahead, course history 1s. And this is 0 to 2, which I think is pretty easy to think of. Don't play more than 2 golfers that you see on the screen. So Sung Jae, if you like him, awesome. Hey, we saw a bunch of optimal lineup golfers or optimal lineups that started with 2 10K golfers. So maybe it's Sung Jae and Burnsy this week. Maybe not. Maybe it won't be Burnsy this week. Maybe it's just Sung Jae, or maybe it's just, obviously we know that. But 0 to 2 is the projections that we can use. I don't mind Cam Davis, and I don't mind some of these other guys, especially to fill in your lineups with. But that's course history 1s. Course history 2s. Again, 0 to 2 is our projection here. Russell Henley's at the top of this one with Siwoo Kim. Denny McCarthy, which I think is going to be a really popular play, and I think it's very warranted. Benny Yan, I know Back 9 Bets likes him. And yeah, there's some good names here. So 0 to 2 for this bucket. A little bit more challenging to select from than the other one, just because there's a lot of good names that you can fit into lineups pretty easily. But let's go ahead and move on to course history 3s. This was a 1 to 3 bucket, by the way. So this is like middle of the pack course history, and it's just this is more of like a volume driven bucket. So we're going to have more names to select from, but there's also a lot of good names. So you have Decky, you have Adam Scott, Shane Lowry, JT Poston. Those are all good names to select. Maybe not. I mean, I'm with Byron on this one. I don't really care for Shane Lowry at this course, but that's when he's probably going to play well. And then, yeah, some other good names here. I'll let the optimizer choose the golfers that are under $8,000, so $7,900 and below, because I don't really have a lean one way or the other. I really don't care. Some of these guys I don't even like, but as I've learned over the last couple of weeks, you kind of just have to you got to embrace each of these 7K golfers. Like if you have a favorite, don't get too in love. It's almost like the 6K range. Like never fall in love with a 6K golfer, but never disrespect one. That's kind of how I feel about the 7K range. At least I have been the last couple weeks, because I've been choosing the wrong 7K golfers like Lee Hodges. I did not choose him. So Anna Marie, if you're still in the chat, no. We talked about Lee Hodges a little bit when it came to the review, but yeah, I didn't choose him because he didn't seem like a good play, or at least the optimizer didn't like him. He didn't like him in the buckets. So anyways, 1 to 3, that'll be more challenging. I'll let the optimizer do its thing. Of course, if you have some anchor plays that you want to choose from, obviously let me know. And then this bucket is 0 to 3. The course history 4 is 0 to 3. So So you've got JT, Aaron Rai, Bo Hosler, and then it gets into the 7K range, and then it dives into the 6K range. So I like JT. This makes me like JT even more. Like I would start JT, Andrew Putnam lineups, and then mix in everything else. Now the projection is 0 to 3, but I kind of want to make it 1 to 3. I mean, it's very close to being 1 to 3. I mean, technically, it's this bucket here. It does say 1, but because this max projection over here is less than 2, that means my minimum has to be 0 because this isn't over 2. And I don't even know if this is technically over 2. It is technically over 2. Okay. So for those that are kind of like, what are you talking about? Remember, we always round down with this bucket and we always round up. So if we're looking at the course history 4s, we're rounding down from 1.2 to 1. Now this is actually 2.001. So we actually would round that up to 3 because that is over 2. So it goes up to 3. But I do have kind of like a safeguard. This is what I call my conservative max projection. If this isn't over 2, then I move this to 0. My minimum down to 0. So it's just a way to safeguard myself. Like I said, it's a conservative number, 0 to 3. So as much as I want this to be 1 and just be like, yes, that's JT, pick Justin Thomas, pump the brakes. Maybe it's not JT. Maybe we don't go Justin Thomas. But anyways, moving on. Course history 5s and 6s, that's 0 to 2 territory. Course history 5s are usually your worst. This is the worst course history you can have. And Gary Woodland's up there. I mean, every one of these guys, except for, it looks like Zach Blair, has a missed cut average playing at this event. So with that, do as you will. Like, I listened to a podcast with Akshay Bhatia, or not so much Akshay, but he was a guest, and this is a home course for him. He is from North Carolina, or at least he's residing in North Carolina. His hometown is an hour and a half away. He loves this event. He thinks it's a home field advantage. More power to him, I guess. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's the worst course history, and it's 0 to 2 is the projection. When it comes to course history 6s, this is also 0 to 2. Now, these are golfers who have 0 course history. 0. These could be rookies. These could be veterans that just haven't played here since 2013. But as you can tell by some of these names, most of these golfers are rookies. Ludwig Aberg, Vincent Norman, Eric Cole, Thomas Dietrich, Justin Sutton, Nikolai Højgaard, Sam Stevens. They're all newbies on the tour. If they weren't new last year, they're new this year. So 0 to 2 is the projection. Play at your own peril, I guess. I don't have a lean one way or the other. There are some good names here, but this is also a way to safeguard yourselves to not play more than 2 of these guys. So that's how the course history buckets look like. Let's move on to the recent form buckets. And of course, this is just to answer the question, does recent form matter here? We have 0 recent form 1 golfers in the field, which recent form means they've been averaging a top 20 finish the last 7 weeks. We got 0 of those. However, we have 1 to 3 recent form 2s, 2 to 5 recent form 3s, 1 to 3 recent form 4s. So we definitely have anchor buckets here, but we also have kind of large numbers. Let's go ahead and take a look. So the first one's 1 to 3, then it's 2 to 5, then it's 1 to 3. Yeah, okay. So recent form 2s. We start here in the projections 1 to 3. You got Matsuyama, you got Henley, Lowry, Poston, Jaeger. Lots of good names. If you see a golfer you want to anchor your lineups around, I think that's totally fine. I see my guy Eric Cole there. I know I want to play him in a bunch of my lineups. So it's good to see that. I don't mind seeing people like Steven Jaeger, Denny McCarthy. I don't know what to do with Hideki Matsuyama, Russell Henley. And I'm there with Byron with Shane Lowry. I just don't want to touch him. I think there's going to be one lineup I create with him that's just going to be a FOMO lineup. But I don't want to play I don't want to play Shane Lowry. I just don't want to do it. JT Poston's an interesting candidate, but if I'm really like thinking about playing certain guys, it'd be these three and Cole, and then kind of secondary options would be like JT, Yeager, maybe Alex Smalley. I know he's a Duke guy, so North Carolina. Yeah. Otherwise, I don't really have anyone else that I cared that much for. So I'm going to move on to the next one. Recent form threes, 2 to 5 is the projection here. And it starts with our guy Sung Jae. Sung Jae is pointing many directions towards being a top 10 finisher this week. So I don't mind someone like Sung Jae M. But then there's also Sam Burns, Adam Scott, Ludwig Aber, we kind of talked about. Remember, this is 2 to 5. So this is, maybe we start here. If you were to manually build lineups, maybe you start here and select some of your golfers from this bucket, because it's such a big projection, 2 to 5. And I think it's warranted. There's a lot of good names up here. Now, remember, even if the projection's 2 to 5, doesn't mean, you know, say there's 5 golfers that do finish inside the top 10. You may not be able to play all 5 of those guys because their price tags wouldn't allow you to. So imagine it's those top 4 golfers. Sung Jae, Burns, Scott, and Aberg. They're all 9,300 and above. I mean, 2 are in the 10K range, 2 are in the 9K range. So you can't really add those guys to a lineup because it's not going to fit. The salary caps, you're just not going to be able to fit under the salary cap. So be careful with that. I mean, that's kind of the considerations you need to make when building lineups, especially if you're following the bucket system and you're doing it manually. It's like, yeah, that's cool and all, but you might not be able to play each golfer, or let's say there's even 3 golfers that do finish inside the top 10 from this bucket, and it's these 3. It means you have to select, or you probably have to play 2 of them, but also maybe you can only play 1 of them because other 9Ks and 8Ks could finish inside the top 10, and maybe it's like only Sung Jae was in the optimal lineup. The other 2 did finish inside the top 10, but that wasn't the optimal lineup. And maybe you can't even build lineups if you include these 2, or even win a GPP. I mean, it's out there, and that is a scenario that probably doesn't really exist, but it is possible. So anyways, the next bucket to talk about, recent form 4s. We have Justin Thomas, Siwoo Kim, Taylor Moore. Those are your 8K and above guys, and then drops in the 7s, and it really dives into the 6s. So 1 to 3, this will probably be more of a volatile bucket. So I don't know if we can really choose golfers from here. I mean, but JT's my guy, and then I don't mind someone like Siwoo Kim. Maybe it's just those guys, and you can ignore the rest. Maybe. I'm not sure. I can't remember what recent form 5s and 6s were, but I bet you they're 0 to 2. Most likely. Yeah, they're both 0 to 2. KH Lee leads the recent form 5s. That's not super great. There's no golfers really to talk about here. And then recent form 6s, same. I mean, there's some steam with, like, not so much steam. There's some talk about this Nicholas Lindheim because of his results on the Korn Ferry Tour, but I don't know, man. I've never really seen it work out. So that covers your recent form buckets. We can briefly talk about the salary buckets, and we really don't have to talk about the golfers that are in each of those salaries. This is more of just lineup construction, like considerations for you guys. We really don't have an anchor bucket, and anchor buckets mean you want to select at least 1 golfer from those buckets. I should say we don't really have one outside the 7K range. So as much as the pass optimal and GPP winning lineups were to lean you towards playing at least 1 10K golfer, 0 to 2 is the projection. So, 0 could show up inside the top 10. Same thing kind of applies for the 9K range. That's 0 to 2. 8K range is 0 to 2. 7K range 2 to 4. 0 to 2 high 6s, and 0 to 2 low 6s. Now, I don't really like to play more than 2 6K golfers anyways. So if you were selecting 2 golfers from the high 6K range, I just would ignore the low 6K range. But that's my 2 cents. Again, we're not going to talk about all these guys. Just know that this is in the optimizer under the salary portion here. So you can see I have 0 to 2, 0 to 2, 0 to 2 for 10K, 9K, 8K. And then 7K, I actually have 1 to 4. Let's see, what was that for? What reason? Oh, yeah. Our conservative max projection over here isn't over 3. So that drops the minimum to 1, which means 1 to 4 is our projection, which I like. I like that. And then it shows I don't want to play more than 2 6Ks. And then there you go, 2 high 6Ks. Max, and then just 1 low 6K. You can change this if you do get the optimizer. You can change this however you like, and go on from there. But that's going to cover the salary buckets, and the last one to talk about are the stroke chain buckets. Now these are a little bit different. If you want to learn more about how I do stroke chain buckets, check the link in the description, the video that's there, and just watch the portion of stroke chain buckets. But when it comes to this, 0 to 2 stroke chain 1, 0 to 2 stroke chain 2, 2 to 4 stroke chain 3, is that? No, it's 1 to 4. Our conservative projection over here is 1 to 4. 1 to 4 stroke chain 4, 0 to 2, 0 to 2. And again, I have this reflected with the stroke chain stats here. 1 to 4, 1 to 4 for our 2 middle buckets. Everything else is 0 to 2. So if you're on the cheat sheet, again, link in the description, and you wanted to look at stroke gain buckets, all you really have to do is go A to Z. I have this all color coordinated by the buckets. It makes it pretty easy to look at. So anyways, strokes gain 1, 0 to 2. I mean, Sung Jae's there. So is Chris Kirk. Some really good names to select from, but 2 is the max. So don't play more than 2. Same thing applies with the strokes gain 2 buckets. 0 to 2 is our projection here. So if you like more than 2 golfers, perhaps pump the brakes on that. Unless you're doing cash lineups. If you want to win a GPP, I say you pump the brakes. The strokes gain 3 bucket is 1 to 4. There's a lot of golfers in this bucket. Starts with Hideki Matsuyama, Russell Henley. We also have Justin Thomas here. We have some good names. So yeah, 1 to 4 seems like a pretty solid projection. I'm not going to talk about a lot of these guys. We'll cover it more with building lineups. And then 1 to 4 is also the same projection for our recent form 4s. However, golfers in this bucket are a little less, I mean, when it comes to salaries, a little less valuable, elite. I don't know what word I'm really looking for, but there are far more 7K and below golfers, like low 7K golfers in this bucket. And there's not, maybe there's just as much. Anyways, 1 to 4 is a projection here too, which is really interesting because not a lot of hot, like, you know, let's put it this way. Adam Hadwin, Denny McCarthy, and JT Poston are the only 8K and above golfers. So if the projection's 1 to 4, good luck. You have to consider some names. I mean, I can't remember what Byron, did you like Brendan Todd? I can't remember. I was listening to a podcast. I can't remember who liked Brendan Todd, but Brendan Todd seems like a pretty decent play this week. So I don't mind Brendan Todd. I don't mind like Thomas Dietrich, Harris English, Eric Cole. Obviously, I've been talking about him. Adam Hadwin, I know that's going to be like a community play just because, who was it? PGA Tout, I think. 2 years ago, he touted somebody, Kevin Kisner, and Kevin Kisner won. Last year, he did not tout Tom Kim. So keep that in mind. He's 1 for 2 when it comes to hitting a home run at this event. But maybe it's an every other year thing. If you're superstitious, maybe it works that way. But Adam Hadwin was his guy this year. I like Andrew Putnam too, man. Andrew Putnam is a pretty decent play. It's same too as Ben Griffin. Ben Griffin, I think, has good Bermuda splits, right? Oh yeah, those are really good splits on Bermuda. And Andrew Putnam's no slouch either. Those are really good. When it comes to like just last year Bermuda in this bucket, or I'm sorry, not even from this bucket. Let me do this. They're the top 2 golfers. Same goes with Thomas Dietrich. Okay, cool, good to know. Maybe we just found our golfers in the strokes gain 4 bucket. And then when we go to strokes gain 5, Robbie Shelton. Oh, hold on. We got to do our salaries. It was by Bermuda splits. We have Webb at 74, so there's only 4 golfers in the 7K range, just really in the 7K and above range, and then everyone else is 6K and below. So 0 to 2 is your projection here, and then we don't have many strokes gained 6 golfers. This would be the 2 add-ins. So we have covered the bucket system for the Wyndham Championship. Remember, 3M Open, we had 35 out of 36 buckets correct. The Open was 36 out of 36. The Genesis Scottish Open was 36 out of 36. And I want to say I can't remember the event off the top of my head that was before that, but let's see, let me double check. The John Deere Classic, I think that was 36 out of 36 as well. The sweet spot process has been 100% correct the last 5 weeks. Again, that is, if we can beat the GPP winning lineup following the strict rules of the sweet spot process, it's a success. So there's only one thing left. This basically was covering the whole preview portion of it. Now we get into the strategy portion, and that is discussing the sweet spot ranks, because the ranks go into the optimizer. The optimizer is going to select the best golfers in this field based off of obviously their salary and then the metric that goes with them. So what I want you guys to do is take a look at what $8,000 is, the last $8,000 value. That's line 22 on my spreadsheet. If we see anything less than $8,000 creep up here, we know that's a value. Likewise, if we see some of these top salaries drop down here, that means they're a little overvalued. Now, what goes into these rankings are the metrics that you can find on the cheat sheet. Again, link in the description. You can scroll all the way over to the right and find what goes into my quote-unquote model. So I add all of these stats up to create the score. You can see the score is reflected upon the metric here in the optimizer. So 1077.51 for Sungjae, 1077.51 for Sungjae in that cheat sheet. So I look at the same stuff every single week because I want to see how consistent this is every single week. OWGR, grass stat 1, which is Bermuda. We don't have a grass stat 2. I'm looking at course history. Bogey avoidance, birdie or better, driving distance. This was all updated today. That's all from the PGA Tour website. Looking at recent form stats, their average DraftKings points over the last 7 weeks. Their average finishing position over the last 7 weeks. Their average round-by-round scoring over the last 7 weeks. And then I'm looking at 1 year's worth of data for their average DraftKings points, average scoring average, or the round-by-round scoring average, round out of 70%, cut made percentage, DK top 10. And again, that goes into the score, which goes into the ranking. And like I said, if we see anyone less than 8,000 creep up, we know that's a value. And I'm going to sort by the sweet spot rank, top to bottom. So line 22, I highlight that. I look at all of my 7K golfers that are up here, and I'm going to highlight them. I think these guys are tremendous values. Ben Griffin being one of them. Thomas Dietrich being another. Andrew Putnam, I've already talked about. And then Brendan Todd. I do like those golfers quite a bit. Some overvalued guys. Now, this is probably because the model hasn't caught up. Ludwig Aberg, he is a rookie. You know, he just got his temporary sponsorship or whatever it's called, membership, their temporary membership, not too long ago. So this is like a Tom Kim moment. Maybe he can finish inside. Maybe he can win this tournament and become a full-fledged PGA Tour member and also make the playoffs. I bet you, actually, I don't know if he can or if he can't. But he's a little overvalued, and I won't lie, I kind of tweaked his score a little bit to go up. So he's 298th in the OWGR. My model includes the OWGR. He wouldn't get any points. So what I ended up doing was I made him the equivalent of a $7,700 golfer. Who was it? I basically made him 75th in the world, and that increased his point total with the OWGR, which then increases his ranking. So he actually would be a worse ranking if I didn't do that. That's all I'm trying to get at. What's really interesting is JT Poston. I don't know why he is so poor in my model. I guess we can do a quick look here. Bermuda stats don't look super great. That's probably what's really hurting him. Tournament history is also hurting him, so he doesn't have decent tournament history. The rest of it seems pretty in the middle. So maybe that's why, Yeah, that's got to be it. DK top 10, he's also not getting any favors there. So 1 year's worth of DK top 10 points, maybe not super great for JT Poston, but seems like he might be a little overvalued. Same goes with Shane Lowry, which, you know, Byron doesn't really, he doesn't matter seeing that, or he doesn't care seeing that, because obviously we know him and I see eye to eye with Shane Lowry. We don't really like him. Siwoo, that's about where his price tag should be. Russell Henley dropped down for me a little bit. So yeah, Adam Scott number 2, Denny McCarthy number 3, and Benny Ann number 6 in my model. And then obviously JT's up there, eighth in my model. And I'm cool with that. I think Ben Griffin probably has to be more Bermuda splits, why he jumped up as high as he did. The rest of this, I think, is pretty good. Maybe not Benny Ann. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that. I actually don't mind my rankings at all. And that's weird for maybe you guys to hear, like, well, yeah, they're your rankings. Why wouldn't you not like them? I honestly didn't review this before jumping on. I was in a rush to get everything going. So yeah, I kind of agree. I do like these rankings. So just so you know, a lot of these values will show up in the optimizer. If you don't like some of these golfers, let me know when I build lineups for you, and then we can exclude them out. But now we get into the Marquee Tee Times. Again, when we talk about the Marquee Tee Times, they are a rank order of the best golfers grouped up together, from group 1 to group 9. And it's only 9 groups because the optimizer only allows me to use 9 groups, but also it fits nicely on the page when I'm showing you guys this. So the rule here is select 2 to 4 golfers, or another way to say it is select 2 to 4 groups. And you only select 1 golfer from those groups. We don't pair golfers up together because we don't see it in the optimal lineup all that often. It's like less than 10%. Over 90% of the time, we see 2 to 4 golfers from the Marquee Tee Times in the optimal lineup, and they aren't playing together. So what I mean by that is, if you like Justin Thomas, you don't play him with Shane Lowry or Adam Scott. That is your 1 golfer from the group is JT. So if you like JT, pair him up with at least 1 more, but you can go up to 2, 3, 4 more, or 3 more golfers after that. So we already know that Byron likes Adam Schenk. That's like his, I don't even know what we call him this week, but Adam Schenk. I just see him say Dietrich is a catfish. Hey, let's get catfished, man. Dietrich, if you want to put them together, and then say you like Siwoo Kim. So you got 2 9Ks and 2 7K golfers. That's 4 golfers from the Marquee Tee Times that you can pair up together. That's how this works. Again, we are not pairing golfers up together in the same lineup. So if you, like I said, I already used the example. I'm not going to repeat myself. If you want to select more than 4 golfers, just understand that probably has happened, like 5 golfers from the Marquee Tee Times probably has happened less than 2% of the time. So it's not a very good number on your side. At the 3M Open, only 1 golfer from the Marquee Tee Times were in the optimal lineup, but we could still build a SweetSpot optimal that took down a GPP, and that GPP winning lineup had 2 golfers from the Marquee Tee Times. Neither one of those scenarios were their golfers paired up together. So I would never go more than 4. If you wanted to do just 1, I understand, but I personally am going to follow the SweetSpot process 100% complete and pick at least 2, somewhere between 2 to 4. So that's how the Marquee Tee Times go, and we're going to start building lineups here soon. So I'll keep this on the screen. If you have 2 to 4 golfers you want me to build lineups around, leave them in the chat, and I will start building lineups. But we're going to get music started. And let me go ahead and find. I think Shot Like Harden had the first one, right? Was it Burnsy Denny? Shot Like Harden, do you want me to build some Burnsy Denny lineups? Yeah, leave your lineup builds in the chat. Anna, you still in the chat? Let's hear some lineups for you. Burnsy and Denny. You gonna eat all that chalk? Shot like Harden, that doesn't seem like you. I need to make one change. What was it? Did I need to make a change? I can't remember. I think I already, oh, I already did. We're good. All right, so that's an interesting lineup. Burns, Scott, McCarthy, Smalley, Griffin, Taylor. So, Jim Herman was $6,100 when he won. Not to say Ben Taylor can't finish inside the top 10 or the top 5. It's possible. How do you like this lineup? Oh, he says num 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 num. All right. Yeah, it's not a terrible lineup, is it? I think I just gotta save it. I don't. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm not gonna save any lineups this week. Whatever you guys build, I'm just keeping as is. We're gonna stay away from saving lineups. Can't do Taylor. Okay, well, he's getting kicked out right now. And we are replacing them with KH Lee and Trey Mullinax. So it looks like we got a core 4 happening right now. Burns, Scott McCarthy, Smalley, KH Lee, Trey Mullinax. Burnsy, McCarthy, Smalley, Patrick Rogers, Dietrich, and Brennan Hu, as my friend Byron was saying all day today. Brennan Hu? He had that H in front of the W. Hu? What? When? Where? I'm sorry, Byron. I am me, and he is you. Actually, I'm gonna save this lineup. I like that lineup. I said I wasn't going to, but I just broke the rule. Whatever, we're doing it. I don't care. Yeah, those are solid lineups. I like when the optimizer starts spitting out different combinations. That's when I enjoy building lineups. Now, that really doesn't mean anything. I haven't tracked how well the optimizer does when it does that kind of thing. It just, I think visually, I like seeing different combinations show up, and it's like, yep, ooh, that one's a really good one. Like the one on the screen right now. I think this is fantastic. I don't mind playing. Why wouldn't you mind playing Webb Simpson? If you had a lineup to burn, if you're building 100 lineups like I usually do, wouldn't you? I'm breaking so many rules. I'm saving all these lineups. Burns, Scott McCarthy, Smalley, Griffin, Bryce Garnett. How are we feeling about Bryce Garnett? I actually don't mind. I don't mind it. If you needed it to be unique, that's one way you get unique. I can't believe Smalley's showing up as much as he is. Smalley just seems like one of those, what would you call it? I can't think of the dang... Novelty? There we go, that's the word. I feel like Smalley is like a novelty pick, just because it's like, he's from the area. He's a masher of the golf ball. I don't mind it. It just, yeah, I guess I'm not going to complain about how much he'll be owned. Let's see, what did I already save? I already forgot. We didn't have Smalley in that last lineup. Dietrich has been in both. Griffin one time. Okay. So Griffin will be in this one also. Yeah, sure, why not? I mean, it's whatever. I like Adam Scott this week. Burnsy, do you like Adam Scott? Byron, I don't remember hearing you talk about him. I don't know if I was there. I showed up late, so how are we feeling about that? married Elitis. Is that Ben Taylor and Justin Thomas you're talking about? Here's my hot take with Justin Thomas. He sucks on any other putting surface other than Bermuda. And maybe married Elitis means he can't practice on bent grass greens as much as usual. And now he's just gonna go back to his feels from his childhood, which were the deep south, and he gonna do real well on that Bermuda golf course, that Bermuda grass. That's my guess. It should just be like Aldo the Apache from Inglourious Bastards, because he's from Tennessee. And I love that movie. No, I guess not. Love that part of the movie. Love that part of the movie. Fancy you're gonna have making a great nest. Think of the dang quote. Whatever. I butchered it. It's gone. It's gone. So Griffin and Smalley are showing up quite a bit. This is a different type of lineup that goes with Burnsy and McCarthy. I mean, if you're doing a core four, Burns, McCarthy, Smalley, and Griffin, the two that just joined with, not terrible. I lied. Good night. What would I lie about? Was it me you're talking about? The saving lineups, I'm guessing. Well, I'm saving this lineup too. Burns, Scott, McCarthy, Smalley, Wu, Shelton. I don't mind it, but I also don't care for it. Burns, Poston, McCarthy. Yeah, I don't care for that either. So it looks like Smalley and Griffin are probably going to show up in most lineups. Do you want me to kick them out? I'll kick one or both out, and then I'll build two more lineups. You get two more, and then we're going to go to Byron's Shank Scott Rye. I think he's second on the list. By the way, so you think Aberg's a full member, Byron? I believe it, but... Oh, Byron, you're checking out my scorecard? The real question is how you shot -2 playing the 4 par 5s +1. Did I really play the par 5s +1? I think the honest answer to that is I had birdie putts on 3 of them, like short birdie putts that I just missed. And oh man, I'd have to think about one of those par 5s. I could take one back. I can't remember what happened. Let's see. Yeah, I think 2 of those par 5s, I had 7-foot putts that I missed. I was the last person to putt and I missed. So I don't know if that tells you how close I was, but greens I just couldn't read either. But I was hitting the ball well. I mean, it was definitely like Colin Morikawa-esque. I was definitely a ball striking bastard and just couldn't putt. That's cool. Okay. All right. So Shot Like Harden says, I like Smalley and Griffin. I guess pick both, see what happens though. Okay. But we don't have to. This is where you can get really narrow. And being narrow is going to help you win a GPP, especially if these 4 guys are the better players. So, I mean, we can, but we don't have to. I mean, I do. If there's ever time to play Smalley, which now I think about it, I should actually make him my one and done pick. Smalley. And I really like Ben Griffin too. I mean, to me, this is like music to my ears. Easy there, buddy. Adam Scott and Webb. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Love it. Okay. I guess I'll kick out Griffin. And Smalley. All right, so we... Ooh, Cam Champ? What's up, Ryan? What's going on, man? There we go. Oh, man, I don't know about Luke Donald. I was just going to say Burnsy, Thomas, McCarthy, Benny Ann, Brennan Todd, Luke Donald. The two 8Ks are going hard. Like, when we're building lineups with Burnsy and McCarthy, it's bringing in another 8K like every single time. All right, one more. Decky. We just... Oh, what? Actually, I don't mind Wesley Bryan at this course. He's a... Isn't he... Maybe he's a South Carolina guy? Maybe he's a Florida guy. I can't remember, but... A lineup like this, I don't mind at all. Got Putnam in there. I love Putnam. I'm gonna save it. All right, man. Hey, if you want more lineups built at towards the end of this podcast, I will do more. If you want those same names in there, I will certainly do that. But let's go ahead and move on to Shank, Scott, and Rye. Byron, do you want me to clear out all of the 6Ks that were just locked out? Champ, Neesmith, Hall, Will Gordon, Trey Mullinax, Shelton, Donald, Garnett, Ben Taylor, and Wesley Bryan? Let me know. Oh, you like that last one, hey? I enjoy it. All right, let's see here. So Shank, Scott, Rye. I'm gonna have to remember what the price tags were for these guys. How much is... Oh, there's Aaron Rye. All right, I said that. Where's Shank? 84 was... Where the hell is Adam Shank? Price check on aisle 4. Price check on aisle 4. All right, I'll just... Oh my God, $7,400? That, okay, Byron, I understand why. I understand why. Wait, what? You're not necessarily interested in any of those guys? Was that a response to what I just said? Streamer brain just... Scott, McCarthy, Rye, Batia, Shank, and Kuchar. Oh, yeah, Ryan. You're like fourth or you're third on the list, man. I'm gonna go through the guys that left their lineups, and then I'll get to yours. So no worries. It's just I'm putting them in the hierarchy. Oh, gotcha. Yep. Sorry, man. I totally forgot that I asked that question. Kick Akshay. Okay. I like how you're on top of the game because I see Adam Shanks trying to get the kick out. Ooh, what about this one, Byron? This one looks pretty good. Scott Yeager, Rye, Dietrich Simpson, Shank. I don't mind that one at all. Scott, Poston, Rye, Smalley. Okay, you gotta love this one, right? I love this one. Davis Thompson, Georgia boy. This is like the anyone that's supposed to be good on Southern golf courses is in this lineup. This one's sexy. You tell me differently. Tell me I'm wrong. Yes, that was a Southern Belle lineup. This one too, not terrible. I like this lineup just as much. These are some good lineups being built right now. Tell me how you feel about this one. Scott, Poston, Rice, Smalley, Shank, Palmer. Do you like Palmer this week? Can we get behind someone like Ryan Palmer? I'm gonna leave this up until you answer me, because I don't know how I feel about Ryan Palmer this week. I don't know. Can you talk me on to Ryan Palmer? I don't know. I don't know why. Let's see if I can talk myself onto Ryan Palmer. 71st in my model, so that's already a good sign. Very good overall Bermuda stats. Okay, that's why. Bermuda. 17.81. 41.30 has got to be top 20 in the yes. 14th. 14th in the field for me going back to 2013 Bermuda stats. So for Palmer, that's really good because he's going against guys that probably haven't played earlier than 2018. Not super great for last year Bermuda, but 17.81. Where's that one on the list? Pretty darn good too. That would be 19th for top 10 finishes. Okay. I guess I just talked myself onto Ryan Palmer. Whatever. That's like the only way I'm gonna get to Ryan Palmer, and I don't think there's really any water for us to worry about with Ryan Palmer because he's attracted to water. Yeah, watch out. We got ourselves a southern guy in Shot Like Harden. Catfish po' boy with hush puppy sheesh. That's probably how you said it, right? Oh, does Michael Kim interest you at all, Byron? Does that get your grill cooking? That's what we got going on here. That's what we're cooking with here. Oh, Joey, I'm so sorry. You asked that question before. Do you know what PGA ReignMakers is going to look like after the season? Yes and no. So a good follow would be Jason Roslin, because I believe he's the quote-unquote director of DK ReignMakers. So he would be someone to listen to or to pay attention. What I gather from it is you can buy tokens now. There will be crafting packs that you can do to convert your 2023 cards into 2024 cards. So basically, you know who your 2023 cards are. So let's say you have a Sung J M that's a rare, a John Rahm that's a rare, and whatever as a rare. You can craft those three into another rare card, but it'll be for the 2024 season, and there's no guarantee what it's going to be. Or like what Byron just said, 10% equity for cards you have now. So I guess let me pull up my ReignMakers and I'll show you what that means. I'm sorry to hijack this. I just want to answer this question really quick. So if I go to my cards, actually, let me go to the leaderboard. Wait. Let me go down, all the way down. So basically right here, to determine the value of your card, you would come down to here, how scoring works. So you'd see, what do you have? Core, rare, elite, legendary, ReignMaker, and then you see your point totals that come with this. Now, I've been advocating for you guys to pick up elite rookie cards from the Genesis pack. So 25, you start with 25 points. You get the 5 times multiplier, by the way. Oh my God, a playoff set's 3 times? I was wondering how much those are. Okay, so we'll have to see what the price is for playoff set. I don't want to get too far into the weeds, but anyways, so let's go 25 times 5. These are rookie Genesis elite cards. So 25 times 5 is 125. We do that rookie multiplier, that's 2 times. I imagine the rookie multiplier will actually be removed. So if I hold on to one of these rookie cards going into next season, they'll no longer be a rookie. So I think this probably gets removed, but let's pretend it doesn't. So remember, we calculated 25 times 5, that equals 125. And then you times it by 2, that equals 250. What Byron is getting at in the chat is next year, when these cards transfer over from 2023 to 2024, they'll be worth 10% of the value. So my $250 rookie card today, the elite Genesis rookie cards that I have that are worth 250 points will be worth 25 points in 2024. And then after 2024, they'll be useless. So there'd be no point in keeping them. But at least I'll have 25 points to my name when the new season starts for each of those cards that I have. That is, if I don't sell them beforehand, which I don't think anyone's going to buy because they're not going to go into the next season. So anyways, that's basically what Byron's getting at, the 10%. Again, you can buy crafting tokens right now. They had an article in Twitter that said you should buy them right now. That way you can hold on to them. They'll go into next year. And then when they do those conversion, I forget what it's called. You can do that. You can move it from a 2023 to a 2024. Good night, my ReignMakers. Actually, not terrible. I was joking about this last week. Again, I'm sorry. I'll leave. Okay, this is my last ReignMakers thing, and I'll talk more about it at the end of the podcast. But just to, I want to bring up. Let's see. Let me go to Laird. See if I can find them. Maybe not. Sometimes, like, you gotta scroll down a little bit for it to show up on your find. Yeah, this one right here. This one is nuts. So this here, I want you to see the names I have. Matty Schmidt, Kevin Roy, Cam Champ. Cam Champ withdrew before the beginning of the contest. Withdrew. He withdrew. Marty Laird was my captain. He got second. I had Lee Hodges in this one. This was a throwaway lineup, guys. A throwaway lineup. I wasn't even, I had enough rare cards to create one more lineup. This was a throwaway. Cam Champ withdrew before the start of the tournament. So my 4 dudes, 4 guys, there was 358 entries. I was 30th with this just because Lee Hodges just was not owned whatsoever. So I finished 30th. And if you're reading this, top 13 get legendary packs, top 43 win elite packs. So I got an elite pack from this. I didn't get a good, I got Quade Cummins. This is such a stupid name. Quade. Yeah, Byron, you and Joel like to talk about doing your optimal lineup all the time. No. No. Buy whatever cards you want because you can get something like this. This is stupid. This is stupid. Yeah, I suppose if Cam Champ doesn't, if I get what, let's say 27 points from a missed cut from him, I go from 446 to what, 473? Do I get inside the top 13 that way? No, I don't. Okay, so that makes it better. 20th place was 471. 19th was 474. So that's all right. We could probably think that Cam Champ was gonna miss the cut. Okay. Like I said, we'll leave ReignMakers to the end. I just wanted to show that. I thought that was pretty interesting. Also, never mind. We're getting back into the building lineups. That's what the segment's for. We'll do ReignMakers at the end, okay? So Byron, do we like Michael Kim? I don't know if you said that or not. Let me scroll. I don't know what's his. Okay, never mind. We'll get past that. Do the next one. Ooh, Karl Yuan. Terrible. Okay. This is a very interesting lineup. We have Ludwig Aberg in there with Aaron Rai, Smalley, Schenk, and Novak. Yeah, I like that one. That is different. It is interesting. And that'd be fun to cheer for. You know what? I missed a lot of chats from the beginning. Let me kind of go back a little bit. I know Ryan said chat's gonna pick our pick his lineups, but I do believe some people came in. So good night. I'm so sorry. Asked shot like Harden. What high price guys he like? Good night just won a GPP. Good night. Which GPP did you win? That's pretty awesome though. Jonah Blair, hi everyone. Here to learn, not to interrupt. All right, hey Jonah, if you're still here and you have questions, go ahead and speak them into the chat. Good night. About to do a mushroom and spinach congee with birikaka and fried garlic chips. Is that how you say it? I put a Norwegian influence on that one. Can't do Todd anymore. Bermuda Burns, baby. Bermuda Triangle. Okay, I think then I got everything after that. Okay, cool. Sorry, guys. I don't know. Sometimes you just miss these things. All right, so let's do this one here. Good night. Are you still in the chat, by the way? And Ryan, if you're in the chat too, your lineups are right after this one. Ooh, Lingmirth. I like Lingmirth this week. I don't mind him. Okay, that's a good one to stop on. I'm not going to talk about Danny Willett, but hey, Byron, if you want more lineups built, I will do that for you a little bit later. We have, oh shoot, I thought I trying to figure out why the pin message isn't showing up there. There we go. All right, it was an update on my end. Oh, no worry, Byron. I'm probably as bad as you right now with being distracted than you are just if I come in and say yo yo yo. So it's all good, dude. Jonah, pick 3 guys, have him build some lineups. I love that. Thank you, Ryan. No worries. Good night. No worries. All right, so we got we have Brandon Wood, and is this Justin Thomas or is this JT Poston? Which JT are we talking about? I'm guessing with the capital J and capital T, we are talking about Justin Thomas. I like this lineup. Burns, Thomas, Smalley, Dietrich, Todd, Wu. Obviously, Byron doesn't like Dietrich. We all know shot like Harden loves Burns. It's a pretty good lineup. Good night. You're going to have to tell me which one to remove. How about we just remove Dietrich? If you don't want Dietrich removed, let me know. We'll change it. You tell me the name. But we're going to move Dietrich for Byron. Burns, Thomas, Kirk, Smalley, Wu, Putnam. Yeah, sign me up, man. That's a sweet lineup. Remove Burns. Okay. Those are fighting words, by the way. Not with me. Not with me. But I mean, I'll be there to defend you. Burns misses cut. Not like Harden. I don't know, man. Are you still in the chat? That's a hard one to swallow, hey? Sungjae JT Hadwin. Hey, we talked about those names. Those are guys that I want in my lineup. Akshay, Brennan Wu, Putnam. Yeah, let's do that one too. Ooh, this is a more balanced build. Aberg, Thomas, McCarthy, Smalley, English, Wu. I like that lineup a lot. Keep dreaming. Hey, I agree, Byron. These lineups are sexy. This is, I think, I usually like to color my like balanced builds yellow because those are kind of. I've been messing around putting those in those 25-cent winner take alls. Like, I want to see if putting a more balanced build in those contests are more beneficial than not. Oh, now Byron's speaking some fighting words. Good night. You're gonna have to let me know who out of this group that you want kicked out, because it's currently showing Brandon Wu as the low one. Maybe it's just Harris English. Let me know if you don't want Harris English kicked out. Remove JT. You're gonna let Byron talk? Okay, we can do that. So do you want me to anchor around someone else? You're letting Byron influence you, huh? I want you to know Byron likes to use his heart more than he likes to use his brain. Just be careful. Just giving you shit, Byron. The model maniac does more maniac than he does model. Hey, by the way, Byron, I read that one article that I think you quote tweeted while you're on your bike ride. Were you on Pat Mayo's show? When did I miss this? Because in that article it said you were on Mayo's show. Which one? Or was that a misprint or a mistype? It's not that I catch every Pat Mayo show, but I am curious, man. Like, I didn't catch any of his stuff this week just because I haven't had the time. JK Lawrence, if you're still in the chat, yeah, dude, 3M Open was awesome. All right. Well, you said no to JT, so let's see if it'll just do something. Scott, Aberg, McCarthy, Smalley, KH Lee, and Brendan Wu. Good night. I had said, who, if you don't want JT to be anchored around, who else would you like me to anchor him around? Because right now we just have Brandon Wu anchored in there. Okay, so we'll do Henley then. And Byron, okay, I missed that. I totally missed that. I I don't know, was I watching you much at that time? Maybe I just didn't. I had to have been, right? I don't know. Anyways, my apology for either not remembering, not seeing it, but that's pretty cool. I didn't even know that. That's awesome. Henley, Scott, Kirk, Simpson, Wu, and Putnam. I like that lineup a lot. There. Byron's got to be happy because there's no Justin Thomas in that one. Cam Champ. Do we trust Cam Champ? Henley, Scott, Benny, and Brennan. I like those 5. I just don't know about this guy. Henley, Scott, McCarthy, Hadwin, Wu, Wesley, Bryan. Can you have too much Wesley Bryan? Is that a thing? That one had a Decky, Burns, McCarthy, Kuchar with Putnam. You know what? Sure. I'll save this one. Oh, that had McCarthy as well. McCarthy, Putnam, Bryan. Oh, this one doesn't have Putnam. That's fine. All right, last one, and then we're gonna get on to Mr. Henson's lineups. Let me go ahead and throw that up there. There you go. Henley, Scott, McCarthy, Suh. I believe Byron is off of Justin Suh. I would have been off of him. Was it 2 weeks ago or last week? Did he jump up? I don't remember. $7,300. I wonder, was he playing the 3M Open well on Thursday? Yeah, he was, wasn't he? He was up there on top of the leaderboard. Yeah, I didn't think like playing a water course was going to be good for him, and then it turned out that it wasn't. But I thought for a while he was actually playing pretty decent. One more for you. Good night. Kyle Reefers. Okay. Yep. Nope. It should have just broke my optimizer before choosing him. All right, Ryan. Sung Jae, Vince Norman, Adam Hadwin. I like it. It's pretty solid. Like, I like doing like a high 7 with an 8K. And then like a 10 or a 9, and then just see what the optimizer will do. Ooh. M. Taylor Moore, Adam Hadwin, Vince Norman, Batia, and Dietrich. Ryan, if you're in the chat, I'm going to get rid of Dietrich. You tell me kick someone else out, and then I'll do that and bring Dietrich back. But I'm only removing Dietrich because Byron, Back 9 Bets, doesn't like him. Thinks he's a catfish. Okay, so we're seeing Batia show up with this lineup a lot, which isn't terrible. M. McCarthy, Hadwin, Norman, Batia, S.H. Kim. I'll remove S.H. Kim. I don't mind S.H. Kim. But, yeah. Yeah, Ryan, just veto whatever I do. If you don't agree, if you want Dietrich, let me know and I'll put Dietrich back. Look at this. Brandon Wu shows up in this lineup without even trying. So we have Sung Jae, Chris Kirk, Adam Hadwin, Vince Norman, Batia, and Brandon Wu. Also, if you don't like Batia, looks like he's just going to show up a bunch with the Norman, M, Hadwin lineups. I'm gonna remove Batia. You let me know if you want to keep him though. Oh, that's right. So we need the community to chime in here. Do we remember the last couple lineups that were built for anyone? Well, how about this, Ryan? What I could do is hold on. What I could do, Ryan, is kind of like ask everyone to give us their 3 best golfers, and then give us their 3 best golfers, and then we can vote on that. I just realized I did do that. Okay, never mind. So Byron says Shank. I don't think I'm gonna get a lot of Twitter. That's gonna take too long. There's not gonna be enough Twitter engagement in that. I don't know. Can I do polls? I wonder. Let me double check. I was wondering what I could do. I don't know what I can and can't do. That's a good idea. I bet you what I would need is a moderator to help me with a pop-out chat. Oh, whoa. I got it. Okay, give me some names. Just give me all your favorite names and I will put it into the poll. I figured it out. So he's going Sung Jae, Hadwin, and Norman. Is that all I can do? Is just that many? I can only add 4 options. That's all I can do. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. He has a 10K golfer, he has an 8K golfer, and he has a 7K golfer. My suggestion is we need to find 2 9Ks to add to this poll and 2 7Ks. So find 2 9Ks we want to put up there. Obviously, Adam Scott's, we have that one. But if I can get a community, like a consensus with this, I will add those 9Ks. And I can't do more than 4. That's all that's happening. Oh, wait, I can do it a different way. I'll just, okay, no. I got it. We're gonna do, I think we're gonna do combos. Never mind. Damn it. Give me 2 golfers to add to the 3 that he has. Each one of you that are in the currently in the chat, give me 2 golfers, combos, and I'll add that to the poll. So give me a 9 and a 7K. There we go. Give me a 9K and a 7K. So your 9K options: Scott, Lowry, Aberg, Poston, JT, and Siwoo Kim. And then 7K options, there's a lot. But hopefully you have your names already. I'm just gonna keep running this optimizer until someone gives me. Okay, Poston, sure. So I need, okay, Charlotte Cardin, give me a 7K golfer to go with that. Like, give me a 9 and a 7. Billy Ho. I Kim and Cole. Yep. Siwoo Kuchar, love that. Brandon Wu and Poston. Yep. This is actually okay because it's between Poston and Siwoo. All right. There you go. It's up. Give me your favorite guys. I don't know how many people are actually in the stream to vote on this. Poll is up. Vote, 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 vote. We have 5 votes so far. Okay. I'm going to close the chat. In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Streamer delay. Streamer delay. Streamer delay. Poll's been ended. Siwoo and Eric Cole are the winners. So let's see if this breaks it. I'm gonna make sure everybody else is cleared out of here. We're gonna break the optimizer. I just have a feeling. We broke it. I knew it. I had a feeling that we break it. Why did we break it? PM, 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 AM. Okay, no, that's not going to do it. They're not playing together. Why did we break it? How and why, where and who? Oh, I can't go anywhere with you guys. We're not doing that. Is it because of salary? I bet you it's... Is it salary? No, we can play... We can go up to like 65... We go up to 60, let's see, $6,700. Why would that ruin it? Broke it because it's meant to be. Aaron Baddeley. Okay. So why would it? Okay, hold on. That's where I should put this. Let's do this. I want this to be shown right here. Okay. So what is holding us back? We want at least one here. Got that. Oh, last week 6s. We didn't choose a last week 6. This works. This works. That works. That works. Okay, so we have everything included except for last week 6. Was Adam Scott was a last week 6. Do we change it from Siwoo to Adam Scott? Or not Scott, but Poston? No, Poston played last week too. Siwoo didn't play last week. You know what? Hold on, timeout. We've been doing this not correct. Remember we had those issues early on going through the bucket system? Oh, timeout. Yep, there we go. Okay. Hold on. Back up. It could have been inconclusive data earlier. It didn't break. There you go, guys. It works. And you're right. Good night. It was meant to be. I'm glad I'm glad I saw that. Now, that doesn't mean the lineups that we were building before aren't going to work. It's just... Okay, so Zach Johnson's the only choice that we can do. With Zach Johnson's the only person that we can play with that lineup. That's it. That's the only one. Is that what's supposed to be meant to be? Is that because... Oh, do we not have any Marquee Tee Time guys? That's why. Okay. We'll have to be smarter about this in the future. We need Marquee Tee Time guys. So, Siwoo is one. That's wonderful. But we don't have one with Adam Hadwin. We don't have one with Vince Norman. We don't have one with Eric Cole. Is Adam Schenk one? Hardy. Yeah, Adam Schenk is one. So I think we galaxy brained ourselves on that. If I go down here and just move this to a 0, it'll run. It'll run for us. Maybe we don't have 2 Marquee Tee Time guys. There you go. There it is. That's the one. Just sloppy. Sloppy. I'm gonna give Vincent Norman a little boost here. I don't want to see him, like, I don't want to have to continue updating that. We'll give him a 100-point boost. Because why not? Giga Brain? Yeah, that's about right. Ryan, do you want me to change it to Shank? And are we changing it from cold to Shank? Is that what we're doing? Ooh, Ben Martin. I like that lineup. That one I could actually do. I will not be putting this in the Nagels Bagels contest, so don't worry about this one, Ryan. But I do like that one. You could if you had to, but you didn't. I don't know what that's referring to, Ryan. Let's see here. So I'll change it from Eric Cole to Adam Schenk. This will actually give us a little bit more flexibility. And then I'll change this back to 2. And I'm actually gonna bring back Ben Martin and Gordon. They're actually good names. I'll build like 2 or 3 more. Ooh. Yeah, this is a better lineup. Sungjae Siwoo, Adam Hadwin, Vincent Norman, Adam Schenk, and MJ Duffy. I like that one. Yeah, Byron, I don't know why you didn't go with a Schenk lineup. Chesson Hadley. Okay, we're getting somewhere. I like these lineups. And then it breaks. So we had our limited options. I hope out of those lineups they worked out for you. Those were limited. Did those work out? If not, we can try to build some more other ways. Who was next on the list of lineups? So let's see here. Norman Hadwin. Yep, got that. I don't think anyone else has any other lineups in. We can continue building lineups. Or if you want to talk about ReignMakers, we can get right into ReignMakers. Nothing. Got nothing. Cool. So we had Schenk lined up, locked in all lineups. Oh, there we go. Actually, JK gave me one. Siwoo and Kuchar. Why Siwoo and Kuchar? I actually don't mind it, but I'm very curious as to why. I like this lineup. Scott, Kim, Yeager, Hadwin, Kuchar, KH Lee. It's pretty solid. Byron, I will take a look at that here shortly. Sungjae Siwoo, Dietrich, Glover, Kuchar, Griffin. Wow. Yeah, I'll save that one. Let's see here. Okay. How does Dylan Woo, Siwoo, and Kevin Yu? We'll take a look here. Siwoo, Cole, Dietrich. I like that one too. That was a solid one. Batia, Kuchar, Todd, Griffin. That's also a good one. Like that one. Scott, Kim, Yeager, Pendrith. Yeah, I do like that one. too bad the Suh isn't Sue, like Indomitian Sue. Yuwu Sue. It's not gonna beat the Sound of Music lineup we made the couple weeks ago. DFS Geeks, what's up, man? Hickok and D-Woo lineups? Sure. Welcome into the chat, by the way. Oh, this is a solid lineup too. Holy shit. Yuwu, Suh, Kim, Im. Oh my god, dude. You could put, hold on, you could put a combination of names together that might get me suspended on YouTube. I bet you, because I just, Suh and Kim, you put those together, you say it fast like I just did. It's yeah. It's close. Down the rabbit hole we go. That's right, man. Okay, so that one's just gonna continue to show up. Okay. Well, Byron, let's take a look. DFS Geeks will go ahead and build your lineups after I do this one. Degenerate. Some degenerate wanted me to create a degenerate lineup using degenerate names. I'm kidding, man. Woo. Okay, good night. Good. It's we'll get there. You sure you don't want to put Brandon Wu into this lineup too, Byron? All right, well, we got Im, Kim, Hadwin, Batia, Yuwu. I don't know what that does. I don't know what to think about that one. Scott, Kim, Yeager, Hadwin, Yuwu. That's a solid lineup. I think what I'm gonna do is remove Yeager. I'm not gonna say that fast, dude. Suh, Kim, Rye, Yu, Hardy. I don't even know, dude. I don't know, but I'm saving this lineup though. I have no words, Byron. No words. I like that one a lot. All right, that's enough of your degeneracy. We'll go ahead and replace this one with our guest's request, and then we can get back to our degeneracy. So Hickok and D-Woo. Raymer Hickok? Dude, I get it. So if you were to put Suh, Kim, and Hickok all in that order and have someone say it fast, you're gonna say things you probably don't want to say. Living in the 6K range, man. Hickok and D Woo. That's crazy. Did I not select Hickok? Okay. I did a no by accident. Yes, Byron, let's crush it. But not putting those three golfers together that I just said. That'd be no bueno. M, Scott, Smalley, Dietrich, Woo, Hickok. So we don't like Dietrich. Ooh. Decky, Scott, McCarthy, Penrith, Woo, and Hickok. That's pretty good. Kind of liking 2 6Ks seem pretty decent this week. Like putting those guys together. I don't so much care for Penrith, so I'm gonna go ahead and kick him out. Sungjae, JT, Jaeger, English. I can get behind this lineup. Do we have DFS geeks still in the chat? You can let me know who you'd like kicked out of this lineup. I really don't. It doesn't matter to me which one gets kicked out. Maybe we think JT's broken and we kick him out. M, Scott, Hadwin, Batia, Woo, Hickok. Not terrible. Not my favorite. Oh, by the way, DFS Geeks, you can go ahead and tell me to kick any golfer out. You want English kicked? Okay. I will remember that. And if there's any other golfers that I kicked that you want to bring back, just tell me return and then whatever golfer. And if you want someone kicked, just say kick in whatever golfer. 2 6K golfers. You don't want Harris English, which I understand. It's a pretty decent lineup. That's crazy. Decky, Scott, McCarthy, Glover to go with the 2 6Ks that you provided. That's pretty good though. I can get behind that lineup. I like that one. It's different. I don't know how much Hickok I really want to have, but those aren't terrible. Oh yeah, I gotta kick someone out of this one. Probably Glover, I'm guessing. Sungjae, Lowry, Davis, Putnam, Woo, Hickok. So I don't have any Lowry lineups built so far, so it's very interesting to see Lowry show up. And Cam Davis, by the way. I like it. I don't so much care for Lowry, but you let me know. If you want me to bring back Lowry, tell me. But I'm gonna kick him out. Interesting. There we go. That's an interesting lineup. I personally don't like Woodland, so I'm gonna kick him out. Guy can just, he can't put together any round of golf. Sungjae, JT, Poston, Cam Davis, Brendan Todd, Woo, and Hickok. Yeah, I like that one quite a bit. I don't know if I like, well, I don't mind leaving $500 on the table, but if I had my option, I wouldn't be leaving a lot of money on the table. for every lineup that I build. I don't mind, obviously. I drop my minimum salary to 49.4. I don't mind doing that, which means I will do anything 49.4 and up. But if I can constantly keep getting lineups that have a lot of money left on the table, I'm not a huge fan of that. I only want to see it a few times. But I mean, this is fine. So one way I could build a lineup, a different lineup with these guys, is to do something like this. I agree, man. Just seeing these lineups built make things very interesting. And 2 6Ks probably require 2 10Ks. So KH Lee, I'm not a huge fan of this week. But 7K is not terrible. I like that lineup. Im, Scott, Davis, Højgaard, Wu, and Hickok. Yeah, I'll do that one. All right, one more lineup. Did anyone else ask for lineups to be built? I think that was probably it. Do we want to talk about ReignMakers? Yeah, I know the Yu, Wu, Su, or Sa, and all that stuff, but I don't think that was being... I think that was legit. A legit request. I'm gonna remove Højgaard. $10,99766. Yeah, I'll do that one too. Yeah, I suppose. Hickok and Wu. So there's Wu. Oh, I didn't. Okay. No. Okay. Let's go ahead. Are we ready to talk ReignMakers here? What do we want to talk about with ReignMakers? Good night. Are you still in there? You still in the chat? I can also still build lineups if people want to provide a couple more lineups. Actually, so I'll call this quits pretty soon. So we're running on about 3 hours. I think by 11:20, we'll call our quits. So that's in like 7 minutes. Or I mean, yeah, it was 7. It's 6 minutes. So we can talk about ReignMakers quickly. They just dropped these playoff cards, by the way. So I don't know if you saw that. This one right here. So $99.99, $100. It says 1 elite card plus per 3 packs on average. So it says rare plus 1 elite card plus. Okay. 7 cards per pack, by the way. 7 cards per pack, and one's an elite plus card. 1 elite plus card per 3 packs on average. Okay, so per 3 packs. Meaning you could get 1 pack and it'll be an elite plus. You could get a ReignMakers or legendary, I guess. Does it say what the limited amount is? Just pay for top golfers vying. We're gonna these cards will still play all season long in the format. An exclusive share. So okay, gated contest means you have to have those cards. So you're gonna need these cards for certain contests. Okay, good to know. You'll get at least 6 rare tier golf cards and over a 33% chance at an elite, legendary, or Rainmaker tier golfer card in every pack. Access to the top 100 golfers vying for the FedEx Cup playoffs as of the Open Championship. A 3 times multiplier towards your Rainmaker franchise score with every approach card you collect. Okay. Oh, here's your percentages. 6 rare cards from the top 100, just straight up. 61% chance for a rare, 33% chance for an elite, 4% chance for a legendary, and a 1.3% chance for a Rainmaker. Very interesting. Do we have these cards already for sale? Wouldn't it be playoff? Approach maybe, I guess. Set name. Wouldn't it be a playoff? Playoffs? Playoff set. So we don't have them. Can't sort by them yet. Oh, wait, you can. Just kidding. So they're 1 of 1s. Okay, that's super interesting. I imagine most people, maybe not most people, just kidding. This one was pulled. Bat Badger 34. Oh. $49.90. That's crazy. Dude. Okay, never mind. So, if they're 1 of 1s, I'd imagine if there was a Scotty Scheffler pull or a Jon Rahm or a Rory McIlroy, you would want to put that on you'd put it on here right away. You get so much value out of it, but maybe those people are also keeping them. So let's see, we have 4 or 5, 10, 15, 14 cards on sale right now. I'm not sure how to find like a Scotty Scheffler or even a Jon Rahm if they're not listed. And by the way, 100, it's the top 100, only 70 make it to the playoffs. So you see Joel Damon here for sale. He's not going to be in the playoffs. Most likely won't be in the playoffs. I don't know the exact list, but he probably won't be. Neither will Jason Day. Michael Kim down here most likely won't be either. So I only bring this up because it's like, well, if you wanted to spend $100 with the chance of getting, it's a very, very low chance of getting a Rainmaker, it's a pretty good return on investment. And if no one wants to buy your cards, then you actually play them in the Rainmakers. It's actually pretty enticing. I think if I were to, I think if I had won a contest or something that I could get $100 from, I would definitely do this. Just because. And now the legendaries are 3. It's out of 3. So, yeah, there was a Jon Rahm that was already pulled. Yeah, Jon Rahm was pulled. Cantlay was pulled. Interesting. So, looks like 1 was pulled. 103. So there's still 2 Jon Rahm cards that you can still get. So again, no Sky Schefflers. I don't see any Sky Schefflers. Are we sure Rainmaker goes all the way to end of year? Damn, someone came up on that, Xander. Yeah. So for me, I guess I don't know how to take that, because it's like, well, okay, here's my take on it. Come on. What the? Dude, look at this. So I go promos and try to scroll down. What is this? It's so stupid. Holy crap. It's definitely some bugs with the site. So this off-season snapshot stuff, I imagine they're going all the way through. You wouldn't include this, because like, why would this be included with this? You know, they're doing a snapshot during the FedEx Cup playoffs, and then they're doing a snapshot on the off season. Why would they do an off season snapshots for the 2024 season? And oh, by the way, yeah. So off season snapshots, if you didn't already know, this off season is like a buffer for next year. So there won't be no FedEx Cup points that go from this 2023 off season towards the 2024 season. It's basically to win money, win status, or try to, you know, get a PGA Tour win. Well, hello there, Jish Swish. What's going on, man? Hello. We're talking Rainmakers, Josh. I was talking to you about this when we were golfing Monday. But yeah, these snapshots, I imagine, are going to be still for 2023 cards. Oh, I'm over my time. It's at 11:20 was when I was gonna leave. I don't have to though. Anybody have any questions? How's everyone else doing in Rainmakers? I don't even know how many people are watching right now. 4 live viewers. Josh, you gotta go. So when I cut up all my videos, you just gotta go comment on each one of them. That's it. Yeah, we like to reward people that participate on the channel. It isn't just in the live chat. It's how many videos are you commenting on, not how many comments you put on videos. But that is the tiebreaker. So normally I do what? 6 videos a week. You go comment on all 6 of those videos, you're gonna be competing with Barry. Barry always comes in at the end of the week and just dumps comments on my stuff. Easy game. Yeah, I don't think I'll be cutting it up tonight, but I'll do it tomorrow morning. We're already in overtime. Already into overtime. All right, good night. Sorry about your connection going out, but I think we're gonna call her quits anyways. So no worries, man. Josh, thank you for stepping in towards the end. How was your tournament, by the way? Did you guys win? Yeah, Josh, then you can also get included in the weekly and monthly giveaway. Very nice. Very nice. Good night, Sholly Carden, and good luck to you as well. How much you guys win by, Josh? Oh, fair enough. Did you watch the Tap and Birdie and see what Kirshner had to say? Or BK, as some people like to call him. Okay. Yeah, dude, 2, that seems pretty, feels difficult to beat. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, I got to watch a little bit of it, but I didn't get to see all of it. Pretty solid. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to talk about, man. You and I have beef, or you and BK have beef? Hey, did you fix your chipping or your wedge shots from inside 100 yards? Well, but you got to give them shit back. Pass the shit test with another shit test. I didn't even see your guys' little Twitter battle going on. I just opened up Twitter and boom, I see a ton of Twitter comments. All right, Josh, I'm gonna call her a night though. Thank you for stepping in. Too bad you didn't get here sooner. Could have created some well, most of the people that watch this channel, that participate, if you were to heckle their lineups, they'd be totally fine about it. Well, that's funny. We have DM too. Love it. See you, man. And anyone else that is currently listening, I am gonna call her I'm gonna call her a night. Hope you guys got some value out of this. Yeah, I don't know. Somehow I wasn't subbed. Well, what the hell, Josh? Anyways, I will see you guys later. Thank you all. Well, let's see here. Hold on now. Hold on. Thank you all for watching. Please leave a like on your way out. Subscribe if you haven't, like Josh Bennett, and leave a like. I think I already said that. But anyways, see you all later. Bye-bye.